Good morning, guys. We're back. Started a little bit late, so let's head on over quickly. Welcome back, everyone. Before we get started, I want to say that, reflecting on the title and all the mishaps I've had, I'm very excited to say that today is the first day where the time in the title is actually correct. Yesterday was daylight saving, so it is now again technically 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for bearing with me the last 6 months. But that
You're
aside,
welcome, rest of the world.
that being said, how was your weekend? Did you guys see Adidas on Friday? What's going on?
I did not, but I did see that all those laid off Twitter employees aren't going to have any electron to go over to Meta.
It's pronounced Adidas.
Oh, my apologies. Adidas. Wait, what's going on with Meta? What?
Layoffs.
Ah.
So they this week they're starting with the layoffs. So no bull cases if you're going for social media companies. I don't think so.
Wait, how deep were the layoffs at Meta? Twitter was what, 50%?
Yes. I don't know what the ratio is for the amount of layoffs. I don't think they put an exact number, at least I can't remember in the article that I read over the weekend. But they are doing certain layoffs this week.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know if I'd feel comfortable trading any kind of social media stock, but are there really any left that haven't reported earnings or already laid off people?
I mean, not that I know of or care about.
Well, the long is road, and I'm sure there will be plenty of opportunities to lose money on social media stocks once again in the future, including Reddit, maybe one day. Sorry, go ahead.
I do want to point out that Meta had, I think, 35% headcount growth over the past year. So I imagine at a minimum 25% of people are getting laid off.
Yeah, now that you brought that up, it just brought back to my memory. I think they were expecting to either be at level of what they started this year or slightly below.
So, what does this do in terms of like the cost of hiring labor for tech companies? You would assume that there's larger supply, so wages would go down.
A good chunk of that labor are H-1B holders, and the cost of transferring the H-1B visa is substantial.
But the tech job market has gotten significantly tighter recently, and I attribute that in a large portion to the job freezes and the layoffs.
Only for junior people.
Well,
yeah,
junior and mid.
Mid to senior and specialists, so think like data engineering, machine learning, ML ops, they're not affected. And I know this because I have several profiles of fake super senior people who still get a lot of recruiters asking, hey, do you want to work for this new company?
Right.
The
Right.
market is definitely strong, at least in that portion of the tech market.
Right.
Mhm.
But
I think it's going to be a big reshuffling as well.
Junior to mid it's not just junior, it's junior to mid, because I've seen a significant decline in like recruiter emails. Like I would see like 5 to 6 a week, and now it's just dropped to like maybe 1 or 2 every 2 weeks.
I think it's also the quality of candidates.
SEO.
Yeah, the quality of candidates has been really weeded out. I think in the last couple of years we've seen a rise of a lot of shitty people in the industry. No offense to anybody, but a lot of shitty people have walked in with barely any knowledge and then come in expecting, you know, high hopes and dreams. But I think to Hardy's point, yeah, I'm still getting recruiters coming out to me every other day, honestly, looking for work from me. So I think there is going to be a tightening. I just think the lower class quantities of engineers and people in the tech space will probably get thrown out the door first, and then forward we go.
Awesome, thanks. Safnar, do you have something?
No, I was just saying like this is like from my personal experience. I am a front end developer, so I do not like there is actually I do also see a difference in back end demand, but they are significantly curtailing front end dev demand. Like there have been layoffs at my individual company. Again, as a front end developer, I've seen recruiter interest decline. This doesn't mean that like like work is impossible to find or anything like that. Thankfully, I'm still employed, but it does imply that there is significant decline, in my opinion, in the tech
What wouldn't you guys say that the high quality engineers have already made their move? I mean, didn't they get it while the getting was good? And so now they're happy in their place where they got, you know, a fat sign up bonus, they got some equity or maybe, you know, a big pay raise or whatever.
Well, here's the deal, Small.
Elon's actually
RSUs
going to be hiring back a decent amount of people because he realized he needs them for his new operations.
So, Smohan, the thing about tech hiring is that the RSUs or the restricted share units typically have a price that is some average prior to when the person joined. So if someone joined Meta in October, approximately when the price was the highest, I think, or whenever, October 2021, their RSUs would vest at $280 a share or something ridiculous. Whereas if they were to join Snap, whose shares are down 80% in that same time frame, the same dollar RSU issuance would result in more shares and higher upside. And that's the appeal for those who are money driven to jump ship.
Right. So that's why people say that some of these people are underwater with their equity.
exactly.
Ew.
So that
Exactly.
said, what I think we've beat this horse to death. So what other plays do we have to share?
Well, on the note of equities, did you see who was it? Goldman Sachs? Their originations down 90%.
Yep. And then
Is
Wells
that-
Fargo allegedly reported that mortgage originations are also down 93%. IPO fee volume is also down significantly.
And for those who don't know, could you just kind of give a quick definition of what mortgage originations are?
Think of an origination as a completed application. The money's been issued, the loan's been set up, the contracts have been signed, etc. Not applications specifically.
So there could be people applying for mortgages, but they're not getting them.
The number of people
Correct.
receiving mortgages has declined dramatically. You can blame it on fewer qualified borrowers, or what's the term? Not as much capital to lend out, or unfavorable lending environment. Either way, it's down, and that's a problem for a lot of companies like Rocket or UW. Well, I don't think I could say the second one anymore, but definitely Rocket, who for whom a core part of their business is mortgage originations.
Hey guys, last week we commented this rally in China. I don't know if you have seen the news during the weekend. Basically, they confirmed in China that they won't take any step back. So meaning that they are still with this COVID zero policy. On top of that, you have this morning they released I think it's exports September month I think exports which was basically, you know, a surprise in the market because it went negative when basically they were expecting some positive 4.7, I think, plus growth. So all these calls that we made, like we were bullish on China, just ignore.
You were bullish on China.
That's what
I
I'm
don't know
saying.
who we is.
Yeah, there was no we on being bullish in China. I'm sure there's a couple people listening.
There was one guy. there was one guy, okay, and me. So we were two, all right?
We
Yeah,
was the
okay,
mouse
2
in
out
the
of
pie.
1,200 people right now.
So, sorry, I have a play. So we're looking to get the CPI print for November 13th. I think it's at 9:30 a.m. instead of 8:30 a.m. So they're going to try to beat the pre-market. The consensus, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's 8%. The data shows at around 8.1. So
November 13 is a Sunday. Did you mean November 10 by any chance?
Yeah, sorry, November 10th. What day is? Yeah, sorry, my apologies. November 10th. Is that when they're going to release the CPI print? I'm pretty sure it's November 10th at 9:30
Thursday,
a.m.
November 10 at 8:30
9:30
a.m.
Eastern. Sorry. Was
At
it 8:30 a.m.?
8:30
Okay.
Eastern is when CPI month over month and year over year will be announced, along with core CPI. Current expectation is for month over month to be 0.6, CPI year over year to be 8, down from 8.2, and core CPI 0.5%. So if these numbers are higher, then SPY go downsies. If the numbers are lower, then SPY goes sideways or up.
Yep. So the Cleveland Federal Reserve marked it at 8.1 year over year for CPI. Not for core. I can't remember over the top of my head if it was year over year, but it looks like it's going to be a miss, but it's going to be a very, very tight miss. So for those who are thinking puts, I would just be very cautious because it's not a for sure win. And generally speaking, the Federal Reserve of Cleveland is fairly accurate when it comes to these daily markings, or nowcasting is what they call it. But I'm definitely chewing on the idea of putting puts for probably 2 to 3 days out. In the money SPY and QQQ puts. And that's what played.
Sorry to jump back just because it's quiet. Just because you went off the subject of tech a little bit. So part of it as well is a lot of low-code solutions for those juniors that sort of came in. So software as a service providers and people like Palantir have got a real big competition now with just small consultancies that could just do far more than they ever were able to.
Yeah, as fun as low-code solutions are, in practice, they only serve a fixed set of common problems. So the kind of problems solved at these larger tech companies, the likes of Snapchat, Meta, Google, Apple, and so on, cannot be solved by a low or no-code solution. They genuinely do need bespoke code for which a dedicated engineering team is necessary.
Yeah, my favorite short hedge.
This was my sort of speciality though in my business. They get their feet in the door with cheap solutions and then kind of get absorbed as clients. They're basically, we're basically freelancers, but at a bigger scale. So we can compete, ironically, with people like Palantir because we just provide them solutions faster and just upscale more as a partner.
What kind of tools are you using? Because I've had UiPath at a previous job, and it's just really not useful as far as I could tell. Beyond like Hardy said, a very fixed set of capabilities. It's like some of my favorite shorts to hedge against if I go long some SaaS stock is like UiPath and Alteryx and all the Data Robot or whatever.
Yeah, so I'm a Power Platform consultant basically for Microsoft, but then we end up building more custom solutions and APIs built on what we've built for them already. Things like, I'm not sure I'll mention companies, but Airbus, we help them do those wings of the future. I might be mistaking the names, but that's coming out in the next few years, and that was built on an Excel spreadsheet and then just slowly upgraded to a custom tool.
All right. So what other plays do we have?
What's the election kind of impact on the stock market, or is it's already kind of priced in?
The election is largely priced in unless there's an upset. So as a quick example, During the Clinton v. Trump election, Clinton was favored to win. When Trump won, large move because it was wholly unexpected.
So then, so what is priced in then in the elections? Is a blue win priced in, or is it a red win?
Red wave.
It's kind of leaning on the red side, so it's definitely expected that the Republican Party will retake the House. It's still kind of a toss-up for the Senate, so there could be some volatility based on who gets the Senate. So if there's if Republicans take control of both the Senate and the House, I think that would have a lot bigger move than if they were only able to take the House, because that means there's probably going to be a lot of deadlock.
I'll give a very stupid election play because why not? Let's be dumb. So as I've said before on here, uncertainty causes gold prices to move. I anticipate after the elections on the 8th, as late numbers come out, there will be some grumpy people who don't like the fact that late votes get counted, regardless of how you particularly feel about this. So I'm personally looking at getting like 2 weeks out calls on Barrick Gold, just off the back of people being grumpy and doing what grumpy people who don't like that their side didn't win have been doing in the US recently, and that causing uncertainty and causing gold to pop, which usually happens on those things. So that's what I'm looking at.
Why would gold pop? Is this like 1980 again?
Because gold moves on uncertainty. Ukraine war, gold popped. 9/11, gold popped. Anytime like a major event happens that has people worried that something bad's going to come in the future, gold moves up. That's just kind of how gold moves. If a bunch of people are in the
This
streets,
election on the level with 9/11 and Ukraine.
And
buy silver. Buy silver.
I mean, if you're buying precious metals in anticipation of volatility, why not just buy volatility itself?
Or Bitcoin.
Just buy the
The
Bitcoin.
irony is gold is down.
Just buy some silver. A better leverage.
Hot commodities.
Yeah, gold's on a. Oh, sorry.
What about, is anybody playing left today?
What's the play?
The irony is that gold is actually close to a yearly low. So I don't think that theory quite works.
What's
It's
the
better to
thesis
look
on
at gold
lift?
like a commodity like wheat.
I think the gold theory is pretty good. Just because AMC has that stake in HYMC, and I don't know if anyone noticed, but they've also updated their Ape ticker logo to the Ape crypto coin. So I don't know if there's something going on there, but yeah.
Please don't talk about that fucking thing.
I won't say another word.
All right, what else we got? What earnings do we have today?
We got, not today, but I was going to mention the trading desk. It was actually a great post somebody posted. It was a funny post, but it looks like the trading desk is a PE of over 700. And it looks like they are a trading platform with fierce competition, and I'm entertaining the idea of puts. I'm looking at probably, the trade desk. TTD, if I remember correctly, is the ticker. And
You know what they trade, right?
Are they not a trading platform?
They trade. They are a trading platform, but for ads and impressions, not for securities.
How the fuck do they have a PE ratio of 700? There has to be some sort of mispricing in
I mean,
earnings
if
or some
your
sort of-
earnings are 1 cent, it's pretty easy to get a PE of 700. Right?
So I'm quite bearish on them, and even if they are in the ad space, I'm even more bearish on them because of the lacking and dropping in ads.
So is
from
this PE
the likes of
ratio?
Facebook.
Is this from a quarterly earnings report, or is this TTM?
This is the quarterly earnings. It's going to be this. Oh God, I want to say Wednesday or Thursday. Don't quote me on that.
The ticker's TTD.
Yep, Tom, Daryl.
No, I'm
This PE
confirming
ratio
because
is-
somebody was
is-
talking about something else.
So
This PE
the
ratio is reflective of last quarter's earnings. Is that what you're saying?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but currently what it's priced in is 700p, over 700, 703.
So the post that you guys are referring to, the DD that I stickied last night, was I just mentioned it in the comments, in the stickied comments. So you can go take a read of that if you like. But once you do, come back and let us know what you think. Are you gonna short TTD?
I think it's a good play with the PU issue that high. The only issue is like the IV on these options are already super high.
Yep. So I would definitely buy very in the money if you're going to even consider playing it, because the IV will crush you.
It will still crush you with an in-the-money option anyway. Unless your intent is to take advantage of, 2 more days of IV increase going into earnings?
I would sell like call credit spreads maybe.
Yeah, spreads would be the way to go, right? To deal with the IV.
Well, let's have a look. So if we look at near dated TTD expiration, we're currently priced in at a $7 move either way. So that's what, like 15% is the implied move. So if you think the price will move beyond 15%, buy a strangle or straddle. If you think it'll stay within that 15% range, sell the straddle or strangle.
In the comments, Jonah Bramson says he lost money on calls last week on TTTD, so he's looking to make them back on puts. Not sure if that's revenge trading, but
oh, it's definitely revenge trading.
Sorry, who did I cut off?
I was just gonna say that it seems like earnings misses. Actually, I was looking at some stats, maybe from the Compound or All In. They're showing some stats of the punishment that companies are getting for missing earnings, and it's like, I think the worst in history, if I remember correctly. So yeah, these downside moves of like 30, 40, 50%, and companies like Twilio and Cloudflare and all these guys, like I think you see the same thing here. So I'd definitely be buying
Not only for missing earnings. You have the example of Atlassian. They didn't miss earnings, basically the outlook, as soon as they release something negative, it drops like 30, 20%. So yeah.
Sure. So damned if you do, damned if you don't. Damned
Well,
if you don't.
Keep in mind, this time last year or even last quarter, a lot of companies are still projecting double-digit growth. So you need to figure out who those companies are and buy puts against them. And I'm trying to look at Trade Desk's previous earnings transcript to see if they were saying projecting double-digit growth, and if that's true, I'm going to buy puts myself because I'm pretty sure the ad market is contracting at the moment.
Isn't Roblox as well reporting earnings this week? This is one of the other, COVID stocks that basically went very high.
Here we go. Trade Desk is saying top line growth 35%, especially impressive year over year. And they did not yet restate their growth expectations.
Dead.
So, assuming they don't hit their growth numbers because things have been contracting quarter over quarter, we'd also probably want to confirm in the next round of, well, if anyone can please look at last week's earnings, how did the marketing line item expense change quarter over quarter? If the majority of the earnings reported had marketing expenses go down any meaningful amount, let's say at least 20%, then definitely bearish for Trade Desk, because Trade Desk is in the flow business. They will buy ad impression for 1/10 of a cent and sell it to you for 0.0012 cents, or effectively 0.12 of a cent. So I need to confirm with actual TD, but assuming that's true, then puts going in through earnings. Go ahead, whoever had the next play. I think it was Big Money.
Yo, okay, so if you guys look on TipRanks, if that's the website you guys use, it tracks a lot of different data about specific equities. Since November 1st, insiders at Merck have sold over $180 million worth of shares. with the most recent transaction being November 4th for 60 million. And on a technical side, there is an active crossover, so I would be buying puts market open with 3 weeks of expiration, $5 out of the money. But please give me some counter thesis.
What ticker was that?
Merck, MRK, ticker MRK. I also posted a DD in this chat. It's on Wall Street Bets.
Who said that?
Mysterious person.
Who's the guy?
69 money.
Big
I think.
69.
Big 69.
Big 69 money.
69. Big 69 money moves.
Okay, thank you. I'll check it out.
I'll add that link to the sticky comment as well. Thank you.
Just because it's quiet, is it worth mentioning natural gas is up 9%?
Absolutely.
Interesting.
You got any plays on it, or just an interesting observation?
I'm looking to short it, although that's just like saying green candle go down. But the Ukraine war is still going on. I'm not going to have an opinion, just a lot of people are dying. But there are definitely more peace talks as the land is freezing over. It's quite hard to fight when it's frozen. And I can only assume this little rally up might be able to drill again. More from a technical side than a logical side, though. If anyone's got any better DD than me.
So what kind of talks are they? Because I can't imagine that there's going to be any fruitful talks about ending the war anytime soon.
Two that I can recall off the top of my head. Germany's obviously wanting natural gas, so they're willing to. I don't remember off the top of my head, so I don't want to misquote it, but there's definitely a German somebody who was interested in peace talks. There was a picture or footage shown of Biden as well, getting quite grumpy at Zelensky for asking for more money. Although you can't blame him, obviously, that's kind of his job. But there might be a bit more talks of trying to be a bit more peaceful and get natural gas flowing out of the country. And I think everybody wants that to some extent.
I think what you're going to see is as Europe literally freezes this winter, you're going to see an acceleration in the end of this conflict. They're going to.
Who's freezing? I'm in Europe and I'm not freezing.
Well, I think a lot of Europe is going to.
You will, my friend. You will.
You're also in Croatia, which is closer to the Mediterranean than Germany.
Yeah, I'm in the short sleeves right now. But going back to the gas play, the dude has a point, but he didn't put the correct point out. I don't know if anybody read the news or searched the news regarding to gas. So right now there's 2 billion in LNG tanks on tankers, boats flowing in front of Europe and waiting for the gas price to go up. The company names are, wait, let me find it. So there is a huge amount of so here's the thing, they're buying it from US companies. US companies are not charging as much as they should. It's the European scamming companies that are going to charge the Europe the crazy amount for the gas. So all those politics and Europeans complaining that US is charging them for the gas absurd prices, it's not true. It's actually the European that are fucking them. So yeah,
What
funny little
happens?
story.
What happens if there's an extremely mild winter in Europe, and all of those tankers need to immediately liquidate their contents because they've been sitting there for months and holding gas that's under par?
Might add on to that. Are the tankers waiting there because the harbors are full, or are they waiting?
No. They're waiting for the price to go up.
Oh,
It's
wow.
the basic manipulation. Oh, wow, that happened 100 times in the past with the oil and a lot of commodities. That's a normal thing.
Well, I think that's your opinion, Simple Wise. I know that in Spain, you have a lot of ships outside waiting for because basically the storage is full. it's not only price, it's a mix, I would say, right? It's a speculation, but the reality is that all the storage is quite, full.
No, G, you're right, but it depends on the country. So when we're talking about the gas market in Europe, we're not talking only about Spain or that doesn't have as many needs as other countries and Germany, who also filled it to 90%. But there is a $2 billion gas supply in front of Europe on boats, so something to take into the consideration.
I don't know if this is purely bullish for natural gas companies, because what you're doing is you're delaying revenue now for the potential of higher revenue later, while still incurring operating expenses. So it
Sounds like an options play.
If it costs a lot of money to preserve and store and keep these supplies on the coast, then that's going to eat into their margins as well. So it's risky.
It's surprisingly cheap, honestly.
If you have $2 billion of natural gas, I assume, let's say, I don't know, 20 ships, I would imagine the operating costs are far from that $2 billion underlying value at present prices.
So I just opened the... Oh, sorry, Hardy. I thought you were done.
And they know how long the winter season lasts, so I'm going to go with someone already did the math to say the price needs to go up, let's say 15% between now and April 2023 before or we lose money because of operating costs or something along those lines.
So let's say the
I
price
would
goes
think
up
that they would.
15%, and then they flood the market with their supply. That's going to bring back down price.
Of course, crash.
It
yeah.
will. I mean,
Unless
it might
it's a
crash the
polar
price.
vortex level winter, which eats through the entire natural gas stores of Europe.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, that price, depending on how much the demand increases, because that's going to affect the price a lot, it might be somewhat inelastic on the demand. And so if it gets to a certain point, it doesn't matter how much gas they pump in there, they're going to make their money.
So right now there is...
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. No, I was just going to mention the number of ships. So right now there is 268 LNG ships on the water worldwide, and 51 of them are in the vicinity of Europe just waiting. So a lot of fucking ships.
I also want to point out that the jet stream is weakening, which means basically Europe could be colder this winter and increase the, natural gas usage.
So you're basically like flying towards the sun until you get burned?
In theory, yes. In practice, we'll find out.
Yeah, we just had bonfire in the UK, and it was raining and freezing, and it wasn't fun at all. We're not looking like it's going to be a warm winter at all.
Aren't we in an El Nino? Aren't we in an El Nino or a La Nina year or something?
We are, but that doesn't really affect.
That applies to
European
South
weather.
America.
So if we have a La Nina, it basically means the nor'easters in New England will be particularly brutal. Although that hasn't been true the last two La Ninas, so that may be because of the jet stream migrating further south.
So the EU wanted to put this cap on gas prices, if I'm not wrong, and I think Qatar said that no way, if they would put the cap, they would take a step back from the last deal they signed to substitute the gas from Russia.
All right. So what other plays do we have to share?
Is anybody doing left today?
Does earnings?
Yeah. I assume Uber went up 72% rider share last quarter, so I'm thinking Lyft might get a bump as well.
You're making the assumption that the number of riders in the overall market has increased.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case. Are more people taking Ubers and Lyfts than before? If so, then rising tide. If not, then Uber took a larger pie of the rideshare market at Lyft's expense.
Yeah, during the winter season, it's always going to be, more customers. So yeah.
We're not talking about winter season. We're talking about Q3.
And
Q4 is going to
September.
Oh, okay, right.
So how did Lyft perform? What was it, July through September, relative to Uber? If Uber grew, what was it, 17% in their rides? Could Lyft have grown the same? Did the rideshare market expand faster than 17%? Or if it didn't, did Lyft take the hit, or was it a different competitor like Grab or Didi?
I think a lot of
gonna-
like Uber's rise was due to Uber Eats, and like Lyft doesn't have any of that like food delivery bullshit. So I don't know if
They do.
like, they'd go that high
They
or
do.
anything.
They do Grubhub, so yeah.
Grubhub, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't use any of that shit, so I don't really know.
Watch it a few hours from now. There's just gonna be like this big Lyft press release where they release their food service industry.
Too much money. They don't have enough liquidity, and the money is expensive right now. It's too late for that.
I did want to bring up one possible play. I talked a couple weeks ago about this is an earnings play, but Activision Blizzard actually reports today. I honestly think it's going to go up at least 5, possibly 10%, just because of I'm a gamer and I'm kind of involved in a bunch of the games, and they've released a bunch of new titles in the past 6 months, and I just think that their revenue and their profit margins are going to be way higher this quarter.
Games.
Won't their entire price be locked by that UK court case and whether or not Microsoft can purchase them?
No.
Isn't that like
No. Tell us which games.
Honestly,
Overwatch.
I wouldn't mind if that deal fell through, because like I think that they could go higher than 95 a share, whatever it is.
There's a very high chance they're still going to win, though. One of the cases they brought up was abandoning Call of Duty to Sony, like not letting Sony play on it. But they argued the case that even if they did that, Sony still has more players. If you imagine that every single person that plays Call of Duty went to Xbox, Sony still beats them. Like the global scale of Sony just dominates Microsoft's Xbox.
I don't think that has anything to do with the earnings. So what do you think?
The merger. That's what I'll talk about.
Yeah, what do you think is going to cause a great earnings for Microsoft? I'm curious. Activision, sorry.
They've got just a bunch of new games out that will like people buying a crap ton of new like Call of Duty game, Overwatch 2. They've got Diablo Immortal, which is like a mobile game that they're making hand over fist on. I've spent myself, I hate to say it, I've probably spent $500 on that game. It's stupid as shit. But there are people who have spent like thousands of dollars in that game. And I mean, there are some free to play players, but I would have to say that game specifically, their average like revenue per player is probably way higher than like what the average is.
Weren't you here like 2 weeks ago going, I've spent like $250 on this game? Like, what the fuck?
Yep.
You need to. So your budget's $250 a week on the game?
I'm trying to slow down now. I think
like you
I'm
need help,
done.
man. Sounds
Yeah.
like you really need to stop.
He's playing the game. Let the man play the game. So
Hey guys, just heard his
Activision-
girlfriend laughing at him.
This is your intervention, man. This is like crack.
Yeah, my wife isn't here right now, so or else she'd kill me.
Well, I think you're playing the most dangerous game of all if you're playing with the markets, man. You got to be careful. This might be one too many.
Does anyone
So
know
just
why
yeah,
DWAC went up?
Hey, I don't know who needs to hear this, but didn't Geico just lay off like pretty much all of their remote employees? So does anybody have any concerns about how the insurance market's working right now based on that? Berkshire Hathaway probably does, but
Adjusters are going to be very overworked, so you need to be very, very detailed when filing a claim to make their job especially easy.
I don't. No, I'm talking about their customer service folks, the underwriting side, not the adjusting side. But yeah,
Well, why the underwriting side? The underwriting side is just signing up new customers, right?
well, they automated most of their process. Geico did, and they let go all of their remote workers. like a huge layoff. I'm not talking about small. Same with Allstate. Allstate followed suit as well.
So, what's the thesis that you're alluding to?
I mean, if you've got shares in either of those companies, maybe there's a good. You probably pull back a little bit on some of those shares for the insurance market because it's unstable.
So your thesis is that because there are fewer humans in a system that's become automated, you should be bearish on the company.
It's very unstable. I'll say that. Yep.
Okay. I would have said calls on the company that sold them the automation.
Yeah,
Hardy, question.
Well, one of the best companies for that is Capgemini, but yeah, I can agree with you on that. But yeah.
So a general question, which I don't know the answer to. What happens with when all the big companies fire like tons of people? Like let's say Meta, Microsoft, Google, whatever. I'm just putting the names out there. Let's say Geico. What happens to the inflation? That should slow inflation down, right?
In theory,
huge amount of
yes.
people-
In practice, not yet. So keep in mind, a lot of these tech workers use their RSUs as collateral in order to get these massive loans to pay cash prices for houses that are incredibly overpriced in their respective major cities.
That
Think
happens?
Seattle, San Francisco. Where else is a major tech hub? Well,
Seattle?
basically
Oh,
Bay
you already
Area
said
and
that.
Seattle. I'm sure there are others, but my point is that's where a lot of this excessive home buying came from. Overpriced RSUs being used as collateral for a loan, plus the house as collateral for that same loan. Now that the stock prices are coming down and these people are getting laid off, they very likely are not able to afford the mortgage payments on those homes and will soon be forced to sell them at current market price, which is substantially lower than their buy price. Now we have this rising unemployment. We have this sales of houses below current market price, which means downtrending house prices. Rising unemployment, theoretically, it means then that the Fed will slow down the rate increase because unemployment is going up as they expect, which is in turn reducing the velocity of money. I don't think, however, that tech bros getting laid off will cause unemployment to rise by any reasonable amount, if only because as much as they earn, they represent a relatively small cross-section of people who work in the US or people who are eligible to and looking for work in the US.
How many people in the world work in tech?
I would say like as high paid engineers, probably on the order of 10 million. And
Okay.
a
Yeah,
subset
that's
of
not going to
that,
impact it much.
and a subset of that work in the US, and a subset of that work at Fangmilas. The rest work at like Which.
Question about the RSUs. So the banks that lend against those RSUs, I've got to think they have somewhat of a tech bent to them. Are they mostly based out of like San Francisco? Are we talking like a Silicon Valley Bank type thing? Like
No, it's usually a brokerage. It's usually a margin loan from a brokerage. So let's say I have $2 million worth of RSUs in my brokerage account. I'll get a margin loan for $1 million of that, use it as a down payment on a $3 million home with a $2 million mortgage.
Got it.
So they will get like margin calls then?
Possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, so here, I got one for you here. All right. Take this one apart. So this is a gas play. Symbol is OVV. It used to be in Canada. So it's a gas play. Dividends 1.87%. That doesn't matter. It's $53.41. The options that I was looking at were the ones for the $70. This is a fucking degenerate play beyond belief. Definitely do your studying. This is not financial information. The two centers, I'm kind of liking them for the November 18th. Totally degenerate play. But if gas keeps going the way it's going and this cold front goes the opposite of what you're saying, I'm not going against your weather pattern. But I feel it up here right now. It's like -17 up in the northern part of our province right now, which is very, very irregular. I've never seen it like this.
What province are you in?
I'm
You're in
in
Alberta?
BC. I'm in BC.
Okay.
Right? It snowed in Alberta too. I'm just saying.
And is it much colder or much warmer? I don't know.
That's
Sorry, the
fucking
part of the
so
world.
fucking cold, dude.
It's
This
cold.
is very
It's very
abnormal.
cold.
Abnormal beyond belief.
You got to move
Beyond
to
belief.
Croatia.
Yeah, but it's unreal. So here, this is unnaturally warm for us.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in short sleeves and short.
I know,
like,
and people in Pittsburgh, people in New York, they all told me the same thing today. I've talked to them many times, and they're the same as you.
That's not
Yeah,
an image
that's
board in our head.
that's why all my shorts in Europe didn't fucking work.
What's the play? OVV 70 and 70 is the strike price? OVV?
Hey, to the gentleman that was talking about Activision, they've got a deal. It's Modern Warfare 2
Wait.
costs $1 billion.
Let's finish the gas play first. Does anybody has anything to comment more?
The gas play basically boils down to if there's a cold snap, prices go to the moon. If not, prices slowly fade away. Pick a side.
Those tankers can sit there. They're not costing that much.
I think the dude actually went away. Go ahead, straight.
Wait, would the cold snap happen in the next week or something? Like 2 weeks?
No. You've got basically between now and April for a cold snap to happen, which
Yeah,
will
you're playing
deplete
the long game.
51
Alright,
which
sure,
will
okay,
deplete the 51 tankers worth of natural gas.
Okay, thank you.
Also, it turns out the reason why DWAC jumped up today is because Trump may announce his candidacy after the midterm elections are announced.
Thanks. Yeah, it's up like 30%. Pretty crazy.
Is there any option
Yeah.
play there?
You could probably do a buy right against DWAC, sell a $10 strike, buy 100 shares.
It has nothing to do with the Twitter stuff with Elon and people leaving and stuff.
It has
No, because they wouldn't be going to DWAC. A lot of those people are making these announcements that they're leaving Twitter on Instagram. So that's probably the only bullish thing going on for Meta right now is that people are using Instagram as their new Twitter now.
Do Trumpers like Musk?
Let's not go into politics, please. Starred, you wanted to talk about Activision. Tell us.
That simply was apparently the Modern Warfare 2 crosses $1 billion through 10 days. It's the fastest in franchise history. So the guy that was talking earlier about Activision and it going up, it might be a good play that it does because that's the latest report on them.
So Activision makes more money with their mobile games than the entirety of PC and consoles combined. So that's just an info for you.
Does anybody smarter than me know anything about the DraftKings DKNG movement? Everybody is lowering their price targets, and it seems to have gone from above what they were calling to way below it now. I don't know what's going on.
During a recession, people have less income to gamble and risk.
How much are you down?
TLDR, it's basically a fire right now.
How much are you down? Tell us.
I have $12.50 puts till March, so I'm up pretty high. I just wonder if I should take it and run or wait or what.
I would hold.
I think
personally.
the other thing is they just got done with the World Series, so we still have some time before the next major sporting event that might be the next bullish event for
till the
them.
World Cup.
Smart.
Yeah, I
World
figure
Cup
I
is
want to
the
get out
20th.
before March Madness starts, probably before the Super Bowl. I don't know. We'll see what it is around there, I guess. I know there's a lot of movement, though, and everybody's moving their price targets, so there might be a play there.
Can I just think of a left field idea, just as I've been looking it up and people talking about layoffs and stuff? Udemy is a stock. Udemy gets paid by, I think it's Singapore government. They even have incentives. A lot of other countries are the same. It's just the one that popped into my head. They've been resilient to the inflation so far. And it makes sense looking at their past earnings. A lot of these layoffs, people are up training when they start the job or up training when they leave a job to get into a new job. And similarly, slightly more left field, Duolingo. outsourcing to places like the Philippines are larger than ever. Duolingo is mildly part of that. I'm talking a tiny bit. But I'm surprised at looking at the stocks.
A counter. Udemy is mostly get their money from the companies. I had it for free in my company. I have it in other company. So what do you think it happens when the recession hits and
Yeah.
and the business is not as
New
strong?
hires, though, you just pay for the license and get them all onto doing a crap ton of Udemy courses.
I like the Udemy PC. I've seen some folks in my company who just started. They were Udemy, or whatever, graduates or whatever for specialization in what we do.
Smohan, we can barely hear you. A couple people raised their hands. Aura Financial, Sad Mind. You guys want to talk, or? Big Money 69, Rare Rolls. Come on, there's a bunch of you that just raised your hand.
I have something if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Two questions. One of them to help me out. Is anyone else insanely bullish on Cloudflare Net?
What's your thesis
What's
for
your
net?
thesis on
Being
that?
bullish on net? Personally, I think with the decrease in startups and the decrease in startup money floating around, there's a smaller customer base for Cloudflare to tap.
Pre-market, they're doing a bit well.
So why do you think? Why are you bullish on Cloudflare?
I saw Amazon's trajectory going up, and with Intel starting to charge enterprise customers a fee to unlock a few CPU instruction sets, I would think that if they also want to have a VPN on their servers, Cloudflare would work with.
That's not quite how Cloudflare VPN works.
I think I need to do some more Googling.
Probably.
Talking about Cloudflare, what about Five9? They report today, I think. They're another startup-based cloud provider service.
What's the symbol?
Jesus Christ, how loud are you guys'
It's
headsets that you can hear
FIVN,
these
I
people?
think.
I'm lamping. Can you speak louder? What was the symbol?
FIVN.
FIBM, I think he said.
F like Frank, I like Ice, V like Victor, and like Nike. They report today.
So I'm extremely bullish on Cloudflare. Their management is extremely good, and they're continuing to have really nice growth rates. They're also practical. So if you look at their earnings calls from much earlier in the year, they were already kind of foretelling the macro environment where a lot of other people were very much in denial. We saw some kind of foresight from Dara from Uber as well. So I commend them for that. But Cloudflare, the breadth of their portfolio, if you listen to their earnings calls, they don't need to do any net new products in order to achieve what they're looking for, a $5 billion revenue rate by, I think, 2028 in 5 years. And they're already at $1 billion of revenue. I think they could turn on the free cash flow spigot and margin, just make a bunch of money when they want to, but they're staying in growth mode. They're being very transparent with their analysts.
Quick question on that. I advise startups, and I never heard of that. I never heard of people going to Cloudflare to all these AWS. Why wouldn't in the future AWS just make their lower tier more cheaper and just take their customers?
Yeah, I think that's not necessarily where AWS is playing. I mean, I think they're very happy with the large businesses and kind of their price points right now.
Not
You know,
true,
I
because
think
with schools and stuff, AWS gives free educational tools, and that usually slips up a lot of those kids that are doing startups to just go straight to AWS.
Personally, I think that the people that have already joined Cloudflare won't really leave it for anything else if they've been there for longer than a few years.
The problem with these startups that you are basically mentioning, such as Cloudflare, is basically you need to look at their financial statements. Their stock-based compensation is abusive. Like 20 to 30% of their operating expenses are basically stock-based compensation. You know, so they keep diluting the investors. It's a good company if you're an employee, but these are very bad companies like Teladoc, Peloton, you know, Twilio, Cloudflare. 20 to 30% of their operating expenses are fucking stock-based compensation.
But why would it be dilutive? Because I'm looking at the common shares outstanding. For Cloudflare specifically, it changes by less than 1% year over year. So it's definitely far from the 20-30% of operating expense.
Peloton sold bicycles with iPads attached to it, and Cloudflare has 1/3 of all internet traffic touching them at any one point in time. So I fail to see how comparing these two is even relevant.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, like I enjoy trading options and like swing trading, right? But Cloudflare,
Because you're a degenerate gambler.
yes,
Go ahead.
but for this one particular position, I think you need to be just long and strong on this stock, maybe selling puts on big, you know, high volatility days. I think this is a story that plays out over many years. I think people who are patient are going to get their faces handed to them, but impatient are going to get their faces handed to them. But in a bad bunch, which is cloud services right now, Cloudflare to me is a better one.
Were we still talking about five in?
Perhaps,
I
but
think
let's
we
go
could.
back to plays. What other plays do
I'm
people
actually-
have to share in the last 2 minutes?
I'm actually going long on Nintendo. This is a bit of a stupid one. I just think the company is growing far bigger than the stock prices evaluated, doing movies and more toys than ever. They've always done toys. But also the attractions that they're doing more around the world instead of just in Japan. And the stock price just doesn't seem to relate to what the real world's doing sometimes. They did have a random stock split. Nobody saw that coming. But it just looks like a nice time for their earnings tomorrow morning, I believe.
Question for someone who hasn't been attending one of these before. Does it end right at US market open, or is it open for like a minute or two after?
Yeah, we are always open to keeping it a little bit longer if you've got something interesting to say.
I'm throwing one play out there that I researched a lot yesterday. Vertex Energy, VTNR, Victor, Thomas, No, and Ralph. On September 29th, they put out a PR that said they're going to be about $3,000 to $4,000 under their volume barrels per day of oil, and their cost per barrel would increase 50 cents per barrel from Q3 to Q2, and they lost about $1 per share in Q2. So for some stupid reason, after that PR, people started buying again, and it's back up to $9. They have a very high hedging cost that's going to hit them in the third quarter as well. They've noted before that it ends in the third quarter, though. But with that being said, they really miss their earnings. I think people run from it, even though there is a heavy short interest. So I'm going to be doing the $10 puts for November 18th. I might consider doing some $7.50 puts along with it to see which one pays better. But I'm pretty sure that's going to be my play for the day.
Hey, Helicopter, did you see that JP Morgan changed their price target for Carvana?
Yeah, it only went down 420 some dollars over a period.
Market's open.
The market. 420 a year ago, and now it's $1. So they kind of
Let's go.
Keep an eye on Coinbase today, folks.
You know,
See ya.
Sounds like there's still some
Right.
interesting discussion, so let's keep it going for another 5 minutes.
Okay.
Hardy?
no, Hardy was gonna take us out. I don't know if you saw the Carvana guy. I don't know who it
We
was
opened
talking
green.
about. The father of the founder actually sold almost all his shares at the top, and he's a convicted fraudster and a criminal, which is a very interesting thing that I didn't hear about all the previous DDs about Caravana. So yeah.
Yeah, simple. We dug into that. They share an office in Arizona. The dad's company, Driveline or Drive Time, shares an office with Carvana. He provides the warranty and gap insurance policies. He actually has an insurance underwriting service. So he has been for years, I want to say, siphoning all the money out of Carvana and taking it to his own company, which is, if it's ever proven, man, he's going down again.
I think that's beautiful. Family that sticks together grows together.
What way to see it?
All right. Any last words then, or should we wrap it up here? We didn't make it to 5 minutes.
I just have one question. Did any of you guys use Quarter to listen to conference calls after the fact? QUARTR? I just came across this app. Do you?
Fantastic app. Fantastic.
I just wanted to say Coinbase. I'm watching them really closely. For those unaware, there's a bank run on FTX right now, which is another crypto exchange. Regardless of the rumors, the bank run is factual. Like it's happening. So regardless of the rumors that have driven the bank run, that's sort of immaterial, right? Because the bank run is now occurring. So looking historically at when Voyager and Celsius went down, there was an initial dip in Coinbase prices, but then it recovered very strongly. And so I'm going to be watching Coinbase really closely today. I'm wondering if there's going to be similar price action to the last two. And so, I mean, Coinbase might have some bullish days ahead in the near future as people move into Coinbase as, they're one of the last men standing in the crypto space.
So, Hardy, question: why does buying puts 2 days before a stock's ex-dividend date, why does that not work?
Because it's priced in. Someone else is already expecting those puts to decrease in value as a result of the dividend.
Or you mean increase in value because of the dividend?
If a stock has 100 monies and they pay out 10 monies as a dividend, the value of the stock is now 90 monies.
Correct. So the put would increase in price.
So the price of the stock goes down, and the price of the put is expected to increase. But because the dividend amount and date are known, the price movement for the put is already priced in.
Okay. So there's no advantage to be taking.
The only advantage you would get is knowing of the dividend before it's announced and buying the put accordingly.
There is arbitrage on scalping it on the movement of liquidity. That's not really an options play.
Gotcha. Okay. Appreciate it.
One quick update on my own Cloudflare position. It opened negative 2%.
Yes, Costco.
Oh, sorry, started. Unmute yourself. I accidentally hit the mute off.
Oh, I've got shorts on Costco, Costco, ASML, ZTS, and Burlington. I don't know if those are probably not the best to short, but if anybody has any insight on any of those.
We don't do insider trading, so no.
What's
we
your
only share friendly stories.
Yeah, I'm actually the CEO of all those companies.
What's your thesis for shorting Costco, though? I'm just wondering. You had to have a reason.
Mental health. Mental health, it's called. That's his thesis.
Your mental health? Or?
Are you gonna answer? Started, trader. Are you gonna answer the dude?
He doesn't have any thoughts. That's why he came and asked for some.
He's not gonna answer.
I think he there he is. I thought he'd run off.
No, he's there. He's just never responding. One thing I wanted to add for the quality of the conversation. A bunch of you
my
today.
microphone kept getting muted. Sorry.
Go ahead. Say why you're shorting Costco.
No thought. Same thing. The reason why might have heard something as a member of Costco. I noticed the shopping has come down as far as the amount of people. It seems like it's not as busy. The quality of their little samples just suck. So I
You
wasn't
do
happy with them.
realize
I wasn't happy with them. So I was like, I'm just gonna short you. You know.
you do realize the majority of Costco's profit comes from the membership fees that they charge, right? Not from the products they sell.
Meh.
No, I didn't know that because the membership fees are what? I think I paid like $60 for a whole year.
Are you in some way related to Alex Jones?
No.
Okay.
I don't know. Not only the commentary, but the voice. You need to come back more often, my dude. I enjoy it very much.
Quick question. What are
Just make sure you don't be as anti-Semitic.
Anti-Semitic meaning.
No, okay, let's not get canceled. Whoa, who had a question?
I do. I have one. What are
Say it, Butters.
What are people's thoughts on Intel as they're getting more recurring revenue from locking out CPU instruction sets with an extra charge for enterprise customers?
I swear to God, Gooseboy, it's like you're reading questions for your class. Like you wrote them down and now you're reading them to do like a master's or something. On what does the Wall Street bet things?
I
Ask
totally
a question
do not
like
have
a normal
Notepad
person.
document open right now with them.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Now ask that question how you would ask a 5-year-old, and maybe you will get an answer.
No, I want to. Well, maybe he's a 5-year-old. Let's start it. You tell us about Intel. I
Pretty
want
much
to hear your.
currently.
Sorry.
All I
Best
know
of my
currently, I
opinion.
found all these things out like 30 minutes ago.
Beautiful, beautiful.
We may be Intel deficient here.
Nice.
What does it mean to lock out instruction sets?
Like
I did
extra
not know
CPU capabilities get locked out.
You
Unless,
meant a
say, if you-
subscription-based service
Yeah.
for additional.
They might turn it monthly, but currently it's just a one-time charge to unlock them.
It's like a car. When you get a chip, when you buy a car and it's 100 horsepower and you want 150, you unlock it one time. That's it.
I have a comment for Hardy.
You have a comment for Hardy. Okay,
Yeah.
comment something that Hardy said.
All right. So yeah, he said that there was no dilution for Cloudflare. So basically, just to quote you, in 2019, September, Cloudflare had outstanding shares of 96 millions. Okay. And now this last quarter, they just reported 309 millions. Okay.
Okay.
In
He got you there, Hardy.
2019.
Check the same period, 3Q 2019.
Because I'm
That's when
showing
they came
here
public,
300 million. So in 2019, I'm showing 300 million shares because that's when they went public. And today they're at 328. So that's a 10% increase over what? 4 years? 3 years? So I'm trying to understand where you got the 90 million from.
He left. He left the talk. Beautiful.
Sorry, bro.
What do you guys think about Disney?
Lamping, we can't hear you. Talk louder.
What do you think about Disney?
Disney.
I'm not as bullish on Disney as I used to be, mainly because the Shanghai Disney World, Disneyland was closed. So that's a major revenue stream that Disney no longer gets to enjoy from their park. And Disneyland and Disney World are consistently full, which implies there's no real growth that can be achieved by increasing the number of visitors to both parks. The only way you can achieve any meaningful growth in both spaces is to increase the average customer value during a visit, which is why the things like Genie Plus and the reservation system and all these other enhancements are
The
coming to
Fast
both
Pass.
parks. Yep.
Nice. It's a nice set. Boom.
Oh, and don't forget that Disney while they have these major blockbuster films, keep in mind a growing number of people on these films are executive producers, meaning they have an ownership stake in the revenue the film generates. So which means there's not as much pie or not as much cheese left over for the mouse.
What about Disney Plus streaming?
Same problem. You have a relatively consistent cash flow that is that doesn't really change. It's just your subscribers multiplied by their aggregate monthly sum. And then you have a cost of content production. The expectation in ideal world, you produce the content once and you get paid on that same content month over month over month. But because you're forced to constantly produce new content, and you can't always guarantee that new content will bring in new watchers, new subscribers, or retain the existing subscribers, there's that element of risk from their cash flows. Disney hedged against this risk by taking out a shit ton of loans and bonds to pay for this content for the launch and use the subscriber fees of Disney Plus to pay for that content and basically pay it down. And then you had theaters closing, so they lost a chunk of that movie revenue. So
And I was
normally
not
you're
too
not supposed to
impressed with
bet-
the. Go ahead, sorry.
Normally, you're not supposed to bet against the mouse, but in this case, I'm probably going to do some sort of strangle, maybe 90 to 110, just to make sure that I can capture the premium there. Or worst case, leg into an Iron Condor.
Yeah, I was thinking about Iron Condor too. Thanks, man.
I'm
I
curious
wasn't too
if
impressed.
anyone. No, go on.
I was just gonna say I wasn't too impressed with what was it? The two series. The Mandalorian was all right, but the latest ones, Andor and the Boba Fett one, I wasn't too impressed. I don't know.
You may not be the target audience.
There we go.
What a target indeed.
I don't know. I grew up with Star Wars. I had, if I really wish I'd have kept the original Millennium Falcon and all the stuff that I had, because it would be worth some jack now.
Are there any plays on Upstart earnings?
That's
Nice.
what are your plays? It's like, yes, we know there are Upstart has earnings. Now what?
Yep. Well, my
Actually-
play is coming out of the Sophie earnings we saw last week. I'm thinking that there could be an upside, but I also want to know more from technical analysis. I'm just a WASB retard.
I'll be honest, I didn't know they were still going.
Technical
So-
analysis doesn't really apply when there's earnings on the line. You can't use previous trading to predict earnings unless there's a shit ton of insider trading. That said, if you're really gung-ho about a play on Upstart, maybe you can sell some puts. Let's see. The November $11 puts will pay you 6.5 cents. So $6 against 1,100 in collateral. And there is a 2.8% chance of that being in the money between now, by November 11. So relatively free money, except for the 2.8% possibility that the price just shits the bed because it's Upstart.
No, that sounds pretty good. Thank you. Also on the Cloudflare guy, I work in data and largely scrapers, and Cloudflare is like my big enemy. Anytime a data company is really trying to reach a website through bots and scrapers, services like Cloudflare, especially Cloudflare in the government space, is a big problem for those bots and scrapers. So I don't know if they're going to increase their presence to deny bots on different websites, but I definitely see government and especially government websites increasing their reliance on Cloudflare.
Nice.
Cool. I don't want to bogart the conversation with Cloudflare, so I'll not say anything. But thank you.
Did SoFi beat last week, which would probably say Upstart might beat this week?
It looks like they did not. Oh wait, sorry, they did beat on revenue, but miss on earnings. Am I reading this right?
Those puts on DraftKings are doing fine, by the way.
I'm looking at buying more Carvana puts next time they pop. During that 30% drop, I sold most of mine. I know that both me and OK Helicopter had been mentioning Carvana puts for the last several weeks ahead of that 30% drop. So
I managed at Market Open to grab a $5 put expiring December 23rd for 52 cents.
On Friday at like 30 minutes before market close, I bought a few shares at market, so those are doing very poorly.
yeah, I think, Carvana's still so heavily shorted that, like, if there's any green days ahead from a Santa Claus rally, it could have a double-digit pop. And when that happens, I'll buy more puts.
Are those actually a thing? Like the Christmas or like New Year's rallies?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How about Credit Suisse? Is anybody short on Credit Suisse? Besides me?
I don't think there's enough meat
I
on the
think the
bone for
correct
that to be
question is
short.
there anyone long on it, because I don't know anyone who is.
Is there anyone
Is
making
it gonna
money
be-
on those shorts though? There's not enough meat left on the bone. I mean, like, it's already priced in. Everybody realizes that they're fucked.
I bought a Hershey call last week, and it's just been sitting in my account, and it is currently up 1,300%.
Nice.
Nice.
What?
Very well done.
How did you do that, bro?
It has to be a glitch. There's literally no volume on this strike. Like I fat fingered this.
Fuck it, take it.
Sell it.
What's the open interest?
I'm showing bit size 2.
So bid-ask spread manipulation there. You would never actually be able to sell it for that 1,000% gain.
I literally have the limit order just underneath where it's at right now in the hopes that it'll actually fucking go through.
You might get lucky.
How about Carvana fell off a cliff and it's on a hold right now?
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's a halt on Carvana shares.
Oh no!
Ah, so that's why
I need to check my position.
Oh my god, I shouldn't.
That's why I must have bought that put at the best time then, because like it shot up to 55 cents and it's been steady there. So maybe when they release that halt,
Oh, crap.
I might see some better gains on it.
It doesn't show any news anywhere, but it just this morning somebody tried to dump a shitload of shares and there were no buyers, I'm guessing.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Let me see what percent my position's down.
Okay, they're not supposed to burn through the rest of their investor equity until the end of this quarter. So in theory, they shouldn't go bankrupt today. It should be like a month or two from now that they go bankrupt.
I got 250 puts
I
on
swear,
Carvana.
if they freaking go bankrupt while I still have this put, I will print.
I had 100 last week and I sold it. Like an idiot.
Right now, my position's down 5.2%.
I think the dad bought up all the puts.
I'm dying.
Meta to announce large-scale layoffs this week. Bullish for Meta.
A good play for the elections is like wheat stocks. You have like 4 states legalizing recreational weed, so maybe like calls on CGC and shit.
No.
Might be good. No.
No. I would say
Oh
your best.
fuck! I just bought the Rhino, 3.5 calls, expiring on Friday.
Unless, I mean, don't get me wrong, you might get a pump on that news, and then
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
but it'll drop right back down until there's federal legalization, man.
And I will sell them when that shit pumps on like
on
like Tuesday tomorrow.
Wednesday morning, because that's when
Wednesday?
they'll get. Yeah, because the results of those initiatives won't be counted until after market close. So those states that have passed it, because like I know Arkansas is one of the ones that has it, and then some of the one of the Dakotas has it. So
Both
if
Dakotas.
those initiatives pass, they'll pop, sell at market open Wednesday morning.
Gotcha. Okay. Thanks, dude.
Is Hardy in the room? No, he left.
Yeah, he had to go. I really want to keep this going though until Carvana unhalts. I mean, hopefully, I don't know how long they're gonna take. Oh, they're unhalted.
Here we go.
Yeah, it just unhalted. 735 was the low, or 703 was the low, and now there's actual bids at 751.
The journey.
So it's still short.
It looks like someone just got a margin call. Live on stream.
Halted again.
Oh my
Halted.
god. Here
Wow.
we go.
Like 21% down right now.
Blue Apron. Dang, I didn't see any movement on my put, but I think I didn't see what the price was when I bought the share price when I bought it. I think it was still closer to $8.
I was buying those $5 puts at 8 a piece, like, and now you're saying they're at 52. I cleared out a lot of my $5 and $7.50 calls dated for February and April of next year when it was down 30%, and now I'm wishing I would have held more of them because my God, it's still bleeding.
Remember, I was worried when I shorted $14,000 worth of shares 2 Fridays ago.
Yeah.
How you feeling now?
I'm feeling terrible. I got rid of them and just bought puts, and then I sold the puts last week.
Anybody have any thoughts on Mercado Libre, the grocery store chain? Their stock's like been up and has stayed up throughout this whole process. It's like
What's the ticker?
it is Mercado Libre, MELI. And then that one and O'Reilly. I'm looking at O'Reilly. Why the hell is O'Reilly like at 800-900? Like everybody else is like tanked. What are they doing on auto parts that that many people redoing cars? Yeah.
I think Mercado Libre needs to do a stock split.
Yeah, I think O'Reilly.
Another stock I watch, Blue Apron Holdings. Their market cap was originally only like 60 million, so we shouldn't mention it here.
Another margin call.
They fell off a cliff this morning and revealed their guidance.
Nice. The last time O'Reilly did a stock split was in 1997. That's probably why it's so expensive.
Thank you. So,
I mean, if you don't do stock splits, eventually they just keep going up. Unless you're Carvana, then you go to zero.
Gosh. So speaking of these haltings on Carvana and that, what are you looking at that tells you when that halts?
The bid is at 1 cent or 10 cents, and the ask is at $350, and there's no shares being sold.
Fidelity Active Trader Pro is really nice at telling you when it pauses or stops.
I think everyone else is just madly refreshing every 2 seconds. But there's a pretty handy site. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but that tracks all the halts. Maybe it's just let me look it up.
Yeah, I just looked at the related news on Carvana, and it shows that they had a article that says halted after the stock down. Well, it was halted on circuit breaker, stock now down 14.3%.
I'm pretty sure FinViz does, and I know NASDAQ.com does.
Wait, you can go to NASDAQ's website? Oh, wow.
Yes, you can. You can do a lot of stuff at that website. Report companies, all kinds of stuff.
That's true.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah. The future is now. Yeah, they halted Carvana with the reason code M, which is volatility. So
I'm looking at picking up some calls on Carvana. They'll go nicely with my $55 Twitter calls.
I was also thinking about following you on that, Titties, but that's a good call. That's a good call.
You might as well sell some puts, Titty.
But Kramer said that he really likes Carvana at the moment, so I actually thinking of really buying it now.
When did you say that?
Never. But he's also fucking, who knows?
I do
saying it
believe
right now,
that
actually.
that was a joke.
Kramer's good as long as he's not bought. You know, he's already bought for whatever he's, you know, touting.
If Carvana doesn't go bankrupt like today, then I mean, like I said, it's heavily shorted. If there's enough interest to keep this thing alive, I could see it pumping the next time we have a green day.
What are the $1 fucking puts on it to January?
I
Is
don't
there
know.
any?
I can't trade anything because it's froze.
Fuck, I know. It's pissed me off too.
It's unhalted. It's unhalted.
Oh, is it? Nice. Oh,
Let's see. Oh, back down to.
oh, back up, back up, back up, back up. Refresh, refresh. Ooh,
What is it doing?
it's fucking back and forth, eh?
They're just trying to get anybody to buy
It's
it.
dropping.
Here we
It's
go.
dropping.
Here we go.
728, 720.
Oh no.
Here, I'm gonna when we get 666, here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes.
I'm just saying
Next
goodbye to
minute
my-
here. 666, here it comes.
I'm just looking for
We are going. Wow.
where are the $1 puts for this week.
Oh,
Fucking
dang it,
5
boy.
cent, 5 cent, 5 cents. Let's buy them now.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
$5 puts.
Yeah, I'm looking at Webull time and sales, and it's just
Guys, they just
100,
added
200,
they just
100.
added $1 puts for this week. Is it
100.
time?
7.
Is it time? Here
There's
we
1,000
go.
orders.
Are we watching this fall?
Yeah, 1,000 orders. 2,000 orders. Somebody's selling the shit out of it.
It is sub $7 now.
692.
Yeah, with 10 million shares traded, that's usually their average.
seriously not
per
gonna
day,
get
15
Hodge
million.
again?
They're trading heavy volume early. Something's going on.
Dude, my freaking put is now at 82 cents. I'm
Oh,
up
God.
46%.
I am almost down 1/3 of what I put in.
I think it's going to a buck.
Yeah, whoever's in Carvana, you might want to sell your stuff, dude.
All right, guys. I just I'm thinking about buying some puts for this week. Aggressively low because I'm a
Have you found? You said they just did the $1 puts, right?
yeah.
Don't buy the $1 puts.
Do not buy those. That was
Oh heck, the $2 you can get 250 puts for 5 cents.
I just got 500 puts filled at $5.
Oh god, 675.
What would be reasonable play for this right now through options?
I
That's
don't
super
even know.
I
Either it
just
goes.
filled.
I don't know. I bought
Wow.
$5.50 puts expiring this week, and I'm already up 11% on them. Keep in mind they had already spiked 200% in value, so the actual value of these puts is up like 240% on the day. That's insane. And it's going.
Yep. Looks like it's a little climb.
insane.
Second halt. We've had one halt, yes, but what about second halt?
Here it comes. It's coming. It's coming. Oh, there it is.
coming.
666. There it is.
Yeah, we're
There's that 666. There's that 666. It's gonna bounce.
I love the comments. They're like, one day we'll see the markets collapse live on Wall Street Bets and it will be historic.
See how it just hovers around that 666, eh? Just
I'm
trying to
can't.
buy-
It has a hard time
I'm trying to buy
bouncing
some
on it.
250 puts. I have an order open for it for this week. That is, oh my gosh, my puts are now, my December put is up 58%. Oh, I just got my 250 puts for this week filled.
Ooh.
It's headed back up. It's now 690, so I don't know. They
Yeah,
may have found
hopefully I
support.
can try to sell my market ones at somewhat of a reasonable price. Reasonable price for today, I mean.
Oh, is it gonna bounce back over 7?
It's got to go below 666, but they got to drag it out so they don't halt it. So they got to wait another 8 minutes before
See,
they
we're
do
at
it.
692.
This is just a pause before people resume selling pressure. Everyone.
Oh,
went
it's back
and made-
up over 7
Everyone went and made coffee real quick.
at 7.
This
It's
is
back below
Flexible.
7. Now it's above 7.
While we're waiting, I have a DD on Victoria's Secret. I wrote like a month ago. The stock's up 20% right now. I still got a high price target about 51, and it's doing pretty good. I'm
shit.
also bullish on FLNG, which is a liquid natural gas shipping company from America to Europe. They're going to definitely need that. I got calls on it out to February, and then I'm looking at Intel, which I'm bullish on because their price to performance on their graphics card is really good. I don't know anything about this chip locking people out thing. I'll have to look into that, but I'm looking at like institutions and educational purposes for getting these graphics cards because they're going to be really important for e-learning and learning.
I don't know, the volume's going back up on Carvana quite a
Yeah,
bit.
Carvana looks to be.
I'm on the 30-second. It's cruising back up pretty high.
Who cares? I just took these 250s. I don't give
Nah,
a shit.
it's gonna bounce around because all the puts being bought, but it goes down.
Yeah, I took these 250s for the 18th just for shits and fucking giggles. I don't give a fuck. I really don't give a fuck. I hate them. I hope they bury. I hope they burn in hell.
What's the expiration on those? December?
No, I took November 18th. I don't give a shit. They're 5 cents. Who gives a shit? It's like fucking pennies.
How many?
Even if I can't afford them, I'm a degenerate. I don't care. I still got 2 weeks almost. So.
How many did you buy?
I just bought 11. I don't give a shit. It's just for shits and giggles.
With the Victoria's Secret, I've done a bit of DD on that as well. I always get distracted though because the images just put me off.
I
but you're not scared of the-
hate this company so badly that if there was one of those cases full of those cars, that we should all be able to bash them because they never actually made them. Wouldn't that be fun? It's all glass.
The Victoria's Secret's had a lot of bad negativity recently, and the general downtrend is down. It's kind of at the top
Yeah,
of the
but
channel.
this
I don't
is-
know if you're worried about that.
This is Victoria's Secret's strong time. They got, Christmas and Valentine's Day, so like they'll be unstoppable for the next 3 months.
There was a 12,000 order on Carvana. So, yeah,
Was it a buy or a sell?
it was a buy.
Etsy.
My
Etsy
Carvana's
is one I'm
down
just basing that
21%.
off.
I used to-
Etsy's had a bit of bad publicity, and all their users just stopped making and selling, and that was an easy short.
There was 5,000 orders. There's 5,000.
It's a fair
look
it's
at.
a fair trade though, like you're saying on the Victoria's Secret. But that mall space costs a lot of money.
Carvana's just moving in line with Spy now.
Oh fuck, it's back in that, eh?
Yeah.
There was like a comment saying, let's watch Carvana together if you can screen share. Can't do it through the Reddit talk, but I just added a trading view chart through the stream. So if you look at the YouTube or Twitch channel, they should have it.
What's the S&P 500 looking at like right now? Looks like we're green.
Better be better than Carvana.
Well, yeah.
So I know we're trying to see Carvana go bankrupt, but I got a quick question. With Norwegian Cruise Line releasing everything tomorrow, do you guys have any thoughts on that? Because everybody's saying they're supposed to be their revenue by a lot. Do you guys have any thoughts?
I wouldn't say by a lot. But they are a better. What cruise line were you talking about again?
Norwegian Cruise.
Norwegian's the better cruise line of them all.
Yeah.
Uh,
They're
I
saying
actually-
their revenue is up by a lot, but you can never take their word for it.
Right. I don't. Are there that many people traveling?
Uh,
to Norway, the
surprisingly, yeah, but
Norwegian.
if you
it's
look at
old
all the
people.
other
It's old
cruise
people.
lines-
It's old people.
Yeah, if you look at all the other cruise lines, every single one beat revenue so far. and they're
Yeah, but were those northern cruise lines, or were those like the Bahamas and in the warmer climate cruise lines? Because the Norwegian they cruise up in Norway and stuff like that. It's cold, right?
but they cruise everywhere. They go Bahamas, all of that too, and they're supposed to be one of the better ones.
They are. I've been on every one but Carnival, and the Carnival only because it was like told not to.
In the last 3 weeks, they have rallied, I think, 35-40%, all in hopes that the revenue is supposed to be a lot better than it was last quarter.
Is the diesel shortage affecting them?
Not right now. It did in the beginning, but not anymore.
I think they're more efficient than that, though. From what I've been told.
Do we think Carvana's going to try to stage a little rally here?
Not that much, but it could happen.
Certainly looking like they're trying. They've been dancing around like the 7 and 720 range.
Yeah, I always say they bounce off 666, man. They always bounce off 666. It's just they don't. Either they go tanking through it, or they bounce off of it and come back. It's just the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing there, Scald. It's the weirdest thing.
The RSI is about ready to leave oversold territory, so we'll see what happens.
Not a bad area for some buy rights.
Yeah,
That's what I was looking at. I already bought my calls on Carvana expiring Friday. If all of Wall Street Bets thinks you should do something, you should do the opposite.
Boom!
This is absolutely correct. This is absolutely correct, my friend. But I still will take my 250s because I hate them
Bruh.
in life.
Someone just said, "Bruh." That's funny.
I'll go stick my anyways. In the mashed potatoes.
I mean, it could just ping off this RSI and then continue collapsing. Because I mean, if you look at the MACD, it tells a story that there's going to continue being sell pressure for at least the next 30 to 45 minutes, if you believe such intraday chart astrology.
I don't believe anything nowadays.
I'm telling you, these 250s are holding real good at the 5 cents. They're holding strong, buddies. There's 189 volume. Holy shit.
The stock probably needs to drop at least another 20 or 40% before those 5 cent turns into 6.
Dude, these are fucking bubbles plays, man. I got fucking glasses on. This is the most degenerate play I ever done. I don't care.
The Copic curve is reapproaching zero from the bottom side. So any chart astrologists out there,
Looks like we're following you.
Does that mean the mandatory 14-month mourning period is over? Isn't that how the Copic curve works? Or I guess it would be 14 minutes in this case. Since it's
in this case, it's 14 minutes, and it is reapproaching zero from the bottom side. So I expect it to break over and then reapproach zero.
Nice. I like how we found this technical indicator from the 1800s, and now we are starting to understand it.
I've used it for years. I didn't know how it worked. Still don't quite know how it works, but we're getting closer to zero again.
What indicator?
The Copic curve.
RSI went from 10 up to about 42 now, while it's been bouncing around between 7 and 725.
Forget, I'm selling at market right now.
As soon as the RSI gets open again, it's going to drop again. As soon as it gets up to 60 or 70 again.
Did you just say you're selling at market? Oh, wait, you hold shares of Carvana?
Yeah.
Oh, young man, I'm sorry.
Wait, hold up. Do you have over 100 shares? Start selling in the money calls or just try and get some money back out of those.
Yeah, no, I have a stop loss that I removed because I thought it was going to go back up. I mean, I wanted to have it go further down than what my stop loss is at.
You're in the right place. You were in the right place.
Question.
I removed my stop loss because it was going down so quickly. That's such a Wall Street Bets move right there.
Quick question: When a stock okay, so WBA reached its price target of 38, 82 according to forecast or whatever. Once they reach that, what does it mean? They're automatically going to drop, or is it going to just continue? Because they just had that payout for all the opium that they were selling. Well, they got to share some of that expense or something like that, $5 billion or something. But I bought it at 33. It's now 38. So
I'm up 12% on my $9.50 calls that expire Friday.
On WBA.
Carvana.
Sorry.
Yeah, you probably took my $50 in puts I bought at 7.
Hey,
7 1/3.
Titties, did you get any more of that fart?
Hey, it looks like Carvana's cracking above 720. They
Yeah.
got to 730 at one point.
I think it's time to add my stop loss back.
Yeah, day trading is all about discipline. Try and trust your previous self with your stop losses.
No emotion. Straight Satan.
Even if you got it wrong, just learn from it.
No, you just got to turn fucking your horns on.
My favorite saying for trading is the best loser wins.
Okay, now I'm going to take a look at these SPY 0 DTEs, because why not?
What are you playing for the SPY?
I don't know. I'm feeling puts. I feel put like. Looking at 373s. I think I might test yesterday's or Monday's. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I can't really get a good read on SPY. Probably should just avoid it today.
I'm thinking about doing Nate's Iron Condor through Wednesday on it that he posted.
Yeah, that was a dope play. I kind of like it.
Do you guys like this format? A little bit extended, get to see what's going on in the markets when they're open.
Yeah, definitely.
To be fair, as soon as you end this opinion, I roll over to Confused Money and I start a chat over there, and then I run it for the rest of the trading day. So, I mean, there's definitely interest.
Yeah, no, fair. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you should start hosting them here. But I think also that's kind of a biased question to ask if you guys like this, because you guys are the ones that stuck around. So survivorship bias.
Well, there is a chat on the Discord, but it's not really moderated the same.
Yeah, I think I'm going with Discord. I got ganked on House of Traders. Yeah, so now.
Carvana's at 750.
Shit.
I will absolutely host throughout the day opinion on here.
I love the extended talks because I work. First of all, I work by myself, and I trade actively during the day. But sometimes my hands are just literally covered in onions or chicken. So you guys literally watching it and me listening in, like you guys are like breaking news, and I know when it's something relevant to what I'm playing, and I can just pick up my phone. So it's fantastic.
Time to wash your hands, get the onions off. Have them sell, hurry, sell.
I was going to say that's a brilliant excuse if we hear you crying. I'm cutting onions, honest.
We normally get about 100 to 120 people on the Confused Money market chats, and right now you're at 900, and it's only been a slow bleed. So there is definitely a lot more interest in keeping a day trading thing going open here.
Yeah.
How
pretty
new
lucky
is it? Did it just start today, or it's been going on for
What?
Oh yeah, no. Last week we just started it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm fully lying, but that's okay.
I was actually
I feel
really
like
excited. Go ahead.
I was gonna say there's a lot to talk about in these talks, right? Especially given not only the market conditions, but bigger talks that can't be handled during pre-market.
Yeah, that's fair. The 1 hour is kind of a short time limit.
Yeah, technically we should be starting at 4:30. Yeah, that's when I'm up. Everybody
Good.
at 4:30 looking at market.
Is 4:30 when you started taking cocaine this morning? Like
4 o'clock. It was 4 o'clock. Cocaine and coffee at 4.
Go to bed at 7, wake up 4:30.
And don't forget the spot of Irish whiskey cream.
Instead of cream and sugar, it's cracking sugar.
No,
Cream and crack. There we go.
it's a little Irish cream whiskey, and then a little squish of the whipped cream. Ready whip. Man, it's on like Donkey Kong.
Oh, I love this guy. I'm crying. This is great.
I think Carvana's about ready to go and try to like go all the way back up to like $8 before it starts dropping again. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, what? It's 768 now?
I
Jeez.
still have not added a stop loss. I seriously need to do this.
I'm just looking at like the RSI number, MACD and stuff like. I mean, like it looks like this is going to keep going for a minute. This little rally here.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I was gonna take
Copic curve is at a positive 13 with no sign of slowing down.
Did you take those 8s?
I got the 950s.
Yeah, I thought you would have taken the 8s. Those 8s went down to 60, eh?
The 950s went down to 20.
Oh fuck, beauties. Yeah, good call. Good call on those. And you're fucking up on those. Like, what are they at, $1 now? No, they got to be at like fucking
40%. I'm up 40% right now on those.
I'm up 15% on my call side.
Like I said, I obviously mine's a full degeneracy fucking play, but I don't. My account's sitting on fucking like empty, like going gas station to gas station at the moment.
Welcome to Wall Street.
No, I fucking love it. Oh.
You remind me of Bob and Doug.
You don't know how to shuffle cards like fucking I do. Fuck.
My car actually ran out of gas this morning.
I know.
My wife was driving it, and she didn't realize that my car just beeps once to tell you that you got 50 miles left. It doesn't like continue to beep or like alert you in any other way. And so she drove it all the way back here. So I was driving the toddler to school this morning, and it literally stopped driving as I got to the gas pump. Like it literally just completely shut off, and I had to turn it off and on like 4 different times to get the engine going again after I filled up the tank. So I got lucky on that one.
Jeez.
You know what I really fear? I fear right now, guys, is that Kramer's talking about Tilray brands.
No.
And how much he
Is
likes
he?
it. Yeah, he keeps talking. He talked about it on Friday, and he's talking about it again right now. It's on stop trading.
Carvana's breaking back through 750.
Don't like it. Don't like it. Don't like it.
Started. What were you gonna say earlier?
Rockstar, you remind me of Bob and Doug McKenzie. It was I think it was a movie. Or something. Hey, take off, you hoser. No, you take off, eh?
What?
You're from Canada. Are you from Canada?
Yeah. Everybody knows I am. Yeah.
Okay. That's, there was I think it was Bob and Doug McKenzie.
At least you can pick up on that, buddy. That's good. I want some of that Irish cream right now too. Fuck. My dog does. He's a good boy. He just watches his stock charts.
But isn't he colorblind?
Aren't they all?
Yeah, so like green, red. Green.
Well, at least he is black and white. I'm pretty sure that's all that fucking Kramer sees too, because I can't even come up with a word. There's a new word out there in the dictionary for what he is. I just haven't figured it out yet.
Does anyone actually change their candle chart colors from green and red? To like yellow or red or something?
No, it's like it's like the card. It's like cards.
Yes. So I looked into the psychology of it, and I just picked pink and cyan because it helped me. But that's mainly dyslexia and guessing. I don't know if it actually helps or if it's just a bit of copium.
It's really funny you say that because it works for me once in a while too.
Wait a minute, you guys use candles?
If you trade in the Chinese markets, you'll notice that they're reversed. The red is green and green is red, because red is a lucky color in China, and so it means to make money. So if it's going up, red candles; it's going down, green candles.
That's why I don't buy Chinese stocks.
Yes, good enough reason as any, to be honest.
But there should be others.
If you want to invest in China, isn't like your only option their housing market, but you don't actually own the house, you just own it for 99 years?
Unless you're freaking insane.
I stopped. I got burnt on trading yen and yang in 2015, and ever since I got burned on those, I have not traded any Chinese stocks.
I think I ended up being in a stock split or something once, doubled the value in one day and then crashed down to like 50%. Never doing that again.
Carvana's holding at about 7.5.
Does anybody have shares of Snap? They keep going up from when I shorted them at like 738. It keeps going up like 954 now. Piece of shit.
What's causing the upward movement?
Snap's related, the whole Musk and the whole, Meta, Facebook, TikTok, even True Social. I went onto their website and signed up for their
TikTok,
literally True Social looks just like Discord, or pretty much like Twitter, believe it or not. And that's why I don't think Elon Musk, I think something to do with Elon and Trump, True Social and Twitter. They're going to be bad, or they're going to do something together.
So we talked about the truth going up because it's anticipated that after midterms, Trump is going to announce that he's running for president in 2024. And then the other companies, it might be based off of the Twitter play because there's been a widespread kind of exodus from Twitter where very prominent people have been saying that they're leaving Twitter. And then you have also had, I think 20 major organizations write, several organizations wrote to like the top 20 advertisers on Twitter, asking them to not put any more advertising money into Twitter.
I have a Cloudflare update.
Let's hear it.
I'm down 5.5% and doesn't look like we're stopping. I'm down.
Were you calls or puts on Cloudflare?
Market, neither.
Oh.
Dole is up 1 full % on the day.
That's
That is what's up. How's Twink doing? I haven't checked yet.
I haven't looked at Twink for today. The power bottom of the bear market. What up, Twink? Up 0.25% on the day.
Oh, that's beautiful. Is that like the outro music? Trying to tell us to get lost, Scald?
I'm looking at it on my end on Fidelity, and it's showing it's up 14 or 0.14%.
Sorry, I'm getting calls from random spammers. They call me and they're like, "Hello, is this Bill?" And I'm like, "No, it isn't. That's not even my name." But I keep getting calls for him.
Then they go ahead and get. Oh well, that's okay. I want to talk to you or something.
Yeah, they're like, oh, maybe I can help you, or maybe you can
Right.
help me.
That's just typical sales, technique when you're
Yeah.
cold calling people.
Well, then, like, I have a problem with my phone number. Whoever had it before me apparently owes a lot of people a lot of money. Because, like, my first 6 months, I got nothing but, like, debt collectors calling me. And it was ridiculous. And I know that someone else had this phone number because whenever I get my car serviced at Walmart, 2 different names pop up under my phone number.
Go put your number on the do not call list, and it'll take a moment.
Oh, I
for
already did that.
Okay.
Or contact a debt collection law firm and let them know this is your unique problem, and then see if they can get you to reveal the name of the person they're collecting the debt from, and then just sue them for the flat 1,000 every time, and they'll settle.
Or put a lien against
Oh.
every phone that they have and house.
Yeah. Because they're not.
So am I supposed to be suing the person who owes the money for $1,000, or
No. Sue the debt collectors for the 1,000 for revealing information about a debt to someone who's not the
correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, well, unfortunately, they stopped calling me after I threatened to sue them for harassment. So
See, that'll work too. You threaten
See,
them.
yeah.
That's all you had to do. You threaten them a lawsuit, man. Come on.
If you got their phone number, call them back and just tell them, like, go by a different voice and just be like, "Hi, this is Bill. I want to pay my debt."
I think that would be fraud on your account, so that would not work. But when he was getting the
it
calls,
seemed like a
initially-
good idea, but just a couple different holes in that strategy.
Yeah.
Well, call from a payphone, Jesus.
A payphone.
If
What
you
year
can
do you
find-
live in?
if you can
Luxor?
find
What
one.
year do you
Find a
live in,
payphone.
buddy?
You can find me a payphone. I'll pay you $1 or $10 thing. I can't.
I mean, the problem is if I do find a payphone, I'll probably get mugged by the time I try to put my quarters in.
He's over
Well-
here and living in the 80s, like, Blue Star likes Spirit
Fucking
Airlines
right.
or whatever.
I'll buy any payphone fucking booth I can find.
Go to a payphone. Hey, you think they'll answer if I do collect?
Looking for Bill and Ted.
Tesla's testing 200 again, but I bought some calls on it because the last 3 times it tried, it didn't eclipse it. So I think they do that just to try to get some people selling.
Elon's frantically trying to rehire the people that he fired. So that's pretty great.
Finally, something I bought is going up.
Well, because he was using his Twitter, CEO group or board to try to run. I'm sorry, his was it SpaceX, or he's using one of the other companies' executives. At least the article I read, because they're getting pissed off because they were working too many hours.
Hey,
Yeah.
Sad, are you there? Sad, are you there?
Basically, he let all these people go at Twitter, and now, as of this morning, I just heard that they're trying to hire people back from the staffing cuts on Friday. Which this just goes to be what I said. Like, he doesn't have the expertise to do what he's doing. Like, he's an inventor, and like he's a good leader as far as like startups go and inventing things go. But like what he needs is a transformational leader and like someone with a background in like corporate takeovers. And like Elon Musk doesn't have those skills. Like, I don't doubt he's smart, but that's a completely different skill set from what he has. So he's just
What skill set do you need to convince Zelensky and Putin to have a sword fight?
I don't know.
When you say sword fight, could you please specify exactly what you mean?
I don't know. I need to read the original tweet, but didn't he say something about that?
Is this some sort of fab fiction related to? Wait, no, sorry. Moving on.
Oh, sweet mother.
Those OBVs, the 18th ones, they popped. The 70s, they went from 10. There was a day low, and they popped to 140. Because OVV's up $1.56 right now on those gas futures. It didn't have very much volume. It didn't have very much volume though, so who cares? It's nice to know that you could possibly get that, because when these guys pop, because not a lot of people know what OVV is anymore, because it used to be Encana, right? And it took me a while to find this because they switched over their symbol, I guess, because they got bought out.
I'm pretty interested. I heard some news about natural gas this morning. Apparently, there's $2 billion in liquid natural gas sitting off the coast of Europe and the Mediterranean right now. And basically, all these ships are loaded up with natural gas, and they're just waiting for the prices to get high enough in Europe for them to dock and start selling their product.
Yeah, we talked about this morning. I think I saw the post. I didn't really look into it, but someone had posted that on Wall Street Bets. Now that company you're talking about, what's the ticker again?
What, OVV?
OVV. Okay.
Yeah, Ovitant. I can't even
Get down
I'm
with
so dyslexic, I
OVV.
can't
Yeah,
even read
you
it.
know me.
Hey,
Anyways, I'm
He's
so
my
used to
user.
saying Encana, I just can't say it anymore. But I'm wondering who owns the ships. Titties.
opinion. You know what this reminds me of?
What?
Tanker Gang. Tanker Gang 2.
Don't sink my battleship.
It's the same thing this time with natural gas, right? Tanker Gang 2.
Just make sure no one lights a cigarette on the ship.
Okay, helicopter. What strike price were you looking at on those Tesla calls? I'm liking the 225 expiring Friday.
I did 210s for about 3.25. I think I got them for like 320 something each. Yeah, and I did for this Friday, the 11th.
Yeah, I'm thinking about a call spread as well, just to get more.
I got calls on a Nova.
It's the lowest it's gone is 198 intraday one day, and it bounced up to 220 that same day. There's no news other than Elon Musk is a, strange person. So I see us back at 220 within a day or two.
I just basically drove to work with one of the associates that I've talked to over Discord for a while, and he went right to work, and he was working there today, and the fucking trek that he had to go through traffic just to go to his job at that plant. It's not even a plant, it's just like a distribution center. It's not too far away from you. Well, it is, but it's over on the coast. A very interesting trek, but all for nothing. And he was doing what you were doing before. But yeah, $16 an hour. That's all I get. He said it's very mismanaged over at Tesla over there.
I get paid less here at Reddit.
Well, fuck. Hot fucking hire me. Thank you.
I'm going to bring two other people that got their hands raised. Silent Aggression and Cosmo Samer. I know Cosmo had some plays this morning. I do want to hear an update on those.
Samer, and who's the other one?
Silent Aggression was the name. Hey Cosmo, how's it going?
Yeah, that wasn't about it.
Tired. I had a late arrival till I got home this morning.
But I thought you had plays this morning. You were talking about them yesterday.
Oh, I haven't talked all weekend.
Oh, Monday then? Or Friday then?
Friday? Maybe. I mean, what I got going on right now is definitely Glencore. I was looking at I was skeptical on Friday because they had a huge fine for, I guess, like bribing folks over in Africa. So they were in some naughty business. It was like $285 million fine, and they're up 3% over the weekend. So I don't know. I kind of held the line there, so I'm pretty happy with that. And then looking at what was it?
Which Glencore though, please?
Glencore PLC.
With the F or the Y?
Glen.
GLC.
You're talking about he's talking about the commodity trader and mining company.
I
They
know.
just settled a bribery suit.
Yeah, there's Glencore PLC and there's Glencore Extra.
I think it's with the Y.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and then what's the other one that I've been watching here? Yeah, Visa's up, and oh fuck, I lost that one. Anyways, yeah, no, pretty stoked about Glencore kind of holding true despite their shitty shenanigans.
It does play a good dividend.
Yeah.
Decent.
Yeah, Tata Motors
I
unexpectedly.
do love
this
Tata.
weekend.
I love fucking
Yeah,
Tata, buddy.
yeah.
I like Tata
I mean,
big time.
past 2 week performance not so great, but for those that don't have paper hands, 5% bonus. I mean that's pretty good. So yeah, and then I'm still holding true with Ivanhoe Mines Limited. That's
You
that's
like
up
that Ivan, eh? You like
4.71%.
that Ivanhoe.
Since, or what are they up today? Here, I'll check out their stock.
And then have you looked at the Ivanhoe Energy too?
No, I haven't. I gotta check.
Go take a look at that one because it's interesting. I could go down to that building. I could get a meeting probably with those fuckers.
So the Glencore deal where they didn't pay their bill, that's not a big deal. Russia's largest lender charges Glencore $160 million over outstanding oil supplies.
Yeah. Well, supposedly they're owned by Qatar, like folks.
I thought it was Rio Tinto, wasn't it? Sort of, kind of.
Yeah. Well, I think they themselves have like a handler company.
Yeah. They kind of like pimp themselves out, as I call it.
Shabir Bank sought to recover debt penalty
Yeah.
from Glencore Energy for $58 million each.
Yeah. I'm just fucking begged, guys. I mean, caught a red eye last night out of Atlanta to get back to Winnipeg. Fuck. Went to the Chattanooga regatta thing going on.
Well, what the heck is in Winnipeg?
I'm in Winnipeg.
Oh, okay. That's all the
You went to a
attraction.
thing in Chattanooga? Dang.
Yeah, I had a buddy that basically invited me saying like, oh yeah, no, it's like the second largest regatta in the United States for like rowing competitions. He's like, you should come check it out. I was like, all right. So I flew down there and like he was competing. So I was cheering him on a bridge. It was raining. But those rowing guys, like they fucking party hard. I mean,
Were you on the Veterans Bridge, the pedestrian bridge?
yeah, it was the Walnut Bridge. It was blue.
Oh, they must have changed the name, or either that or I'm thinking of a different bridge.
Is your friend a bonesman?
Hey guys, Carvana just broke above 750.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
It's moving. It's 758, 760. This is what I was talking about where I thought it might test $8 again, and this is just looking at the daily RSI and MACDs on the daily versus on like say the minute or whatever. I'm thinking the RSI, we'll see what happens. If it doesn't ping off 50, then we're going to be in for quite the rally on Carvana.
Tesla broke under 200 for a little bit here.
Oh.
I do like I like your Tata here.
Hey, that
if
guy
you
who's
look at
still holding Carvana, you might want to sell.
Yeah, now, yeah.
oh fuck, I don't give a shit. I just mine was a joke.
Not financial advice. Just you know.
I just do jokes.
We can just repeat JP Morgan's $1 price target. That's not financial advice. That's just
I
one of the
know.
largest investment banks in the world saying it's worth $1.
And if you want to come here for jokes, you can just listen to me. Right? $2, 250 fucking puts.
Okay, so where were the people that said that if Tesla broke 200, it was going down to like 140 or something insane?
I think if for headphones.
What? Rockstar, what are you talking about? We're talking about Tesla stock.
I know. You sell one share of Tesla for headphones.
Oh,
Those
that
were
guy.
all the people that left right at 8:30 at market open.
Right. There was a guy on one of our chats the other day who had one share of Tesla and he was going to sell it to buy AirPods. He was like, should I sell my one share of Tesla to buy AirPods?
So, changing gears. So there is a chemical fire, or no, there's a fire at a chemical plant in Georgia. The company is Symrise.
It's not a chlorine plant, is it? Dadgummit.
Carvana's about to hit 775.
But anyway, looks like they're down 2.5%. The ticker is SYIEY.
And you're saying they're having a fire sale, huh?
I guess.
Again?
Carvana's doing an interesting maneuver right now.
The fire sale is apparently on SYIEY. Looks like it's an ADR international brand of some sort. They do flavoring, and they currently have a fire in a plant here in America. Yeah, Carvana looks like it's going to go test that $8 price.
I'm making my stop loss more aggressive.
Have any of you guys been to one of those yellow deli restaurants?
Is this like how y'all Canadians call parking garages parkades? It's like a Canadian thing?
No. It's so in Chattanooga, the original Yellow Deli restaurant is there. And like we got one in Winnipeg, and like it's a fucking cult. You guys should look into it. It's owned by
what kind of cult is it?
like one with Kool-Aid.
So can we make money on the cult, or buy
Like
Kool-Aid, or what?
like in the show Mo, or like that kind of Kool-Aid, or like really
Yeah.
bad.
Does
bad
Kool-Aid have a
Kool-Aid?
parent company?
Kool-Aid? That would be Kraft.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and talk about brand strength. Literally, your brand gets known for a bunch of people drinking it and dying, and yet they're still just going strong. I mean, that is a strong brand right there.
Yeah, they're doing a lot better than the AIDS candy.
Well, not only that, but then it's like you've got Heinz going with that too, right? So like you got the mustard color, right?
But
they just took out. They can't even. They don't even call fucking Heinz Stadium anymore. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm holding Heinz right now, but honestly, in my fridge, it's always going to be French's.
Because that's Canadian.
Fuck yeah, bud. Get rid of that. Like, I'll get French's ketchup. None of that red dye.
I'll fucking make my own ketchup.
Oh yeah, that's
but
true.
then but I will buy that too. Like it's all the rest of the stuff sugar shit.
Looks like Carvana might be stalling out a little bit already.
Yeah.
That's
Is this that
surprising.
Before
is
the
that
death.
human ketchup that we've been hearing about?
Yeah, well, ketchup. Well, no, that's catnip.
Have there been any more like press releases? I mean, like articles on Carvana in the past few minutes?
But yeah, if you guys are ever bored, check out this organization called the 12 Tribes. It's a Christian cult organization that owns all these Yellow Deli restaurants across the world.
Are the Yellow Delis publicly traded, or is that what Canadian people call McDonald's? I'm still confused.
No. We call it Tim Hortons, but
You say the original Yellow Deli's in Chattanooga?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
next to
I'm
like
going there soon.
a pretty shoddy.
Reddit is a division of this company.
It's not Otter. Is it?
News stories on Carvana 38 minutes ago. Carvana stock tanks 20% continued sell-off. 52
Okay.
minutes ago, Barron says Carvana shows dealers the perils Ford and General Motors investors should watch out. Let's talk about that because General Motors financing division is now through Ally Bank. Let's take a look at Ally Bank stock. See how
Doesn't Ally have like an insanely high interest rate now compared to everyone else?
Ally Bank also gave Carvana a $2 billion floor plan. So if Carvana goes bankrupt, Ally Bank is on the hook for the $2 billion. And that becomes a bank problem.
And they have to sell those cars at auction when the auction prices are down right now compared to the values they gave them. So there would be a lot of loss selling those cars off.
If
wouldn't be $2
Carvana
billion.
can pull
It wouldn't be
through,
$2
will
billion,
Ally
but
be
it'd be a
fine?
couple $100 million at least.
Yeah. So Carvana's the first domino. Ally Bank is the second domino. Just so we're clear.
Well, JP Morgan Chase gave them the $3 billion to buy ADESA. So JP Morgan Chase and Citibank would be on the hook for most of it because they over allowed.
Why did Carvana not
overlend.
just stick to a single bank?
It's because they were assumably because they couldn't. They were probably tapping out their credit lines at various banks. But I don't know that to be true. I'm just saying it seems like they would just stick to one bank if they could have, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not uncommon in mezzanine financing and corporate financing to go to multiple banks as well. Like it's easier to have multiple banks involved in these kinds of deals. Just
Hey, Wong did it.
So Ally Bank's down 1.25% today.
That probably might not be related to Carvana though, or it could.
I'm just saying Ally Bank has a lot of exposure to Carvana. And unlike Chase, where for $3 billion for Chase is like barely a line item, Ally Bank has a market cap of 7.5 billion. So, they're a much smaller bank to be giving out those lines of credit to people like Carvana. Just saying.
What's Allied stock ticker?
Ally, ALLY. Alpha, lambda, whatever the symbol for Y is.
Yankee?
Yankee. Alpha, lambda, Yankee.
Yobbers.
So yeah, this restaurant's right next to university. So they basically lure in dropout university students that have nowhere to go, and they end up working on a farm making this green drink that's listed at this Yellow Deli.
I don't know how to say that's nice while also being sarcastic.
Yeah, is this like a Black Mirror plot, or is this something?
No, this is like a legit thing.
Okay.
Like we have one in Winnipeg.
It sounds like they should SPAC. They would get investors if they SPAC'd.
Definitely. I'm kind of getting scared too, but carry on.
So it's a religious organization that originated in the United States. That's all over the world.
But this doesn't have to do with the stocks. So let's try and focus on plays, guys.
So back to Otter. So I've been looking up OTTR. Sounds like something off of the fucking sports channel, but it's Otter Tail Corp. Dare you to look into them. They do very well. It's kind of like a little tail off of you get it.
I don't get it.
No, you don't? Okay, well, it's a little tail off of what his tail was. Like he was just talking about something that we're not going to get into. Just go into this one because these guys own everything. Like they do. They own everything. They own all the liquor. Over here in BC, they just bought all the liquor depots here. I think they bought them in Alberta as well. They own
This
Otter.
Ottertail, which says it's a contract manufacturing and fabrication company,
Yeah, and then it carries on.
they now own liquor stores in Canada.
No, I'm just saying, just
It's
it
like a
carries
house
on.
of brands type thing. Are they?
Yeah, I think they're just kind of like, like when you go to their website, it's kind of like, oh, well, we're just fucking all about piping and this and that. I think that's just what they put on that site, so it looks like it's just this because it's a very plain white site, right?
I lay pipe.
But I could be wrong. Could be very wrong. I just know things when I see them sometimes, but I'm probably incorrect.
Carvana's at 775.
Yeah. No, just
Chris-
noticed Nasdaq's in the
Question.
negatives now.
Anybody trading SPY 0 DTEs? If you're in the audience, raise your hand.
Should be.
Not today.
How's Rig? Gone.
Rig. I made money off those calls. Thanks for that play. Sad. It was good.
Damn, it's up to 4.25, Rig. Or unit.
Thanks for the not financial advice.
Never. Nobody does that.
He was just sharing what he was doing, and I just chose to follow.
I
That's okay.
sneezed. I landed on
Crazy.
Rig.
I heard that, Kramer fucking gave a fucking good fucking call on the fucking radio. Can anybody tell me, is there something wrong with that meta fucking 1 year chart? Anybody seen it?
I think
Yeah,
the
it's-
problem is the CEO.
It's like fucking like a limp. It's like when you get older, something happens to you.
I feel like the whole story makes sense though. It's like he had to pivot, he had to invest in the metaverse because or whatever the next computing device is going to be. So it's obviously going to be either AR or VR, and he did that. But he's getting punished so badly for it. And so is that just because the problem turned out to be a lot harder than he thought it was, or what's the deal? Maybe the market's undervaluing whatever patents he got. Sorry, go ahead.
I think he saw a lot more. Go ahead.
Well, I think because a lot of people still see Meta as a social media company. They see it as Facebook, Instagram, those platforms. I don't think people are really seeing them as this big, metaverse company. And people right now don't see value in the metaverse. And the other thing is, right now the metaverse is a money pit. So until they are able to make it profitable, they're going to keep going down.
Yeah, I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say because it's kind of it blends off of somebody else's comments on him buying a few of the VRs that I like, because I had no idea how these VRs work, right? But he bought them for significant others, and they worked out over the last 2-year period and a bit that we had, right? But what the whole thing is people want to get up and do things now, right? But they have some of the best VR helmets or goggles that I've heard of, because you don't need the joysticks. Buddy was explaining it to me today. And he's on there quite a lot.
The Oculus hand tracking is still experimental.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
I was
but he
using it
said
in
he said
20
it's one of the best. He said he did it, like the person I'm not talking, the person I talked to today, but as well as somebody else that, yeah, and they they said that the hand gestures are a lot better than the ones that had the remotes.
Yeah, I was using the
yeah, but-
Oculus hand tracking in 2019. So I don't know what you say it's experimental. It's pretty good.
In,
I think-
settings, it's still flagged.
Did
as
I
experimental.
say it's experimental or he did?
No, Gooseboy did. But like my thing is like you're right. I think he's being punished a little too harshly. And I think he's making the right decision because if you look at Meta, their main revenue stream was advertising. And with what happened with Apple, it became clear that the company did not directly control its main revenue stream, which is disastrous. So they've had to pivot. I think the reason the market's penalizing them so heavily is they've invested tens of billions into this metaverse now, and they have lackluster results to show from it compared to other companies like VR Chat, which invested substantially less and has more to show. And is on the Oculus. It's like, why didn't they just go and buy some of these existing VR companies, like actual companies that are making it?
or
I think
just
you
sell them the
simplifying
product.
what the metaverse is, though. With
Right?
that statement, by the way.
Well, so I guess that's kind of my confusion is that, like, maybe is the market like not valuing the patents they have and how they'll probably be able to extract value from that? Like in the future, maybe they've discovered like the best way to put a headset on or materials to use or whatever, right?
Yeah,
They can-
VR sound is coming out next year.
Yeah, I
The
believe
avatars. The
I-
avatars
I'm not-
you've seen aren't the same what they're actually developing. The wristwatch, it's not hand gestures, it's just like a watch that they've got in development where you can shake it and do finger motions and point to it. That's coming out in way future, but that is experimental. But it looks like it works from all the demos. The metaverse isn't just VR and augmented reality. There's loads of stuff they're developing behind the scenes, and
Yeah,
you can look
and
at
I
the
agree-
demos.
I
They're
agree with
only
you.
out last 2 weeks.
Yeah, because like I was speaking with a person today and all the way to his work for about 2 hours. And he was explaining how he goes in when he does go into the Oculus, he goes into the, he said that the thing is it's like couples like to go in there. It's just the weirdest thing he told me. He's like, couples like to be in there, and then they like to like kind of like nudge you, and then it's like, but then they go and make out right in front of you, like they're not actually, but they're going out, but it's like kind of like I don't know what you call it, couple dousing or some fucking thing. It was like such a weird thing.
Thanks for that, Rockstar.
No, I'm
not
just saying. I know, but it sounds odd, but it was
so
just,
like, but like, here's an example of a company. So there's this company called B Haptics. So B Haptics, why is Meta not just go buy them? So like, B Haptics makes these things. It's basically like $1,000 for the full kit, but you have these things that you put on your feet, you put them on your hands, and it's a vest that you wear. And after you have this, it allows you to do as close as possible to a full dive VR. So like when someone shoots you in VR, like you can actually feel it on your chest when you're wearing
like
this
paintball,
vest.
like paintball.
It's not
There is
not
a lot of
nearly that.
game.
It's not nearly that pronounced, but like you can feel that like something's hit you.
That's cool.
And like, why doesn't Meta just go and buy them?
No,
So there's a lot of games development in there, and they call it kinesthetic projection. If you want a word to look up, so even though you're getting all this fancy tech around you, it feels more alien than it does just a controller. So you need to remove as much as possible and to put nice haptic feedback, not just anything anywhere. So all the people playing Call of Duty feels more in the game than some of these VR games. So you can't just throw things at it without it feeling, it's uncanny valley is the word? Yeah, that's the one. And especially sickness, people get sick. That kind of VR is just kind of a gimmick at the end of the day. It's not going to be the industry changer like they're trying to aim for.
It's true because like exactly what you're saying about the sickness. Yeah, I do get that motion sickness
Speaking
and
of
stuff.
of Meta, check out its current price action, up 6.69% for the day. Look at it go.
I just seen that.
It's just pumping.
Rivian, Coinbase. Oh, look at the layoffs. I'm gonna give you the layoffs list. Holy shish kebabs. Hold on. Let me go back.
I mean, that's a surprising thing that Meta's going up when they just announced, oh, we're going to start telling people they're getting laid off.
Look at this. Listen to this. This is the
Reduces
2022
their
layoffs.
costs.
Rivian, Coinbase, Microsoft, Twilio, Corvana, of course, Stripe, Netflix, Peloton, PayPal, Lyft, Twitter, Claro, Robinhood, Snap, Shopify, and Tesla. So those are the layoffs, just like overall for the year, I guess. But
Oh, I thought
that's
you were
pretty.
just reading off.
No,
the
but those are pretty heavy. That's pretty heavy duty for like a year, for in the year. Like Rivian, like fucking steering wheels are falling off. But yeah,
Yeah,
Peloton.
it's one of those things where I think Facebook's pumping on the news because they're announcing layoffs. That's why it's pumping today.
It's always the way it works, right? As
Yeah.
soon as you lay off, that means less money coming out of the coffers, right?
Well, come on. We all saw that on Wall Street Bets last week. The project manager for Meta. You all saw that post, right? Where she was like, every morning I wake up and I do my journal. And she was like, yeah. I'm like, is this the kind of dead weight you're carrying? You need to do layoffs. It's nuts.
I don't know how realistic that is. Like, I mean, I feel like I've really heard both sides from everyone I know in tech, and just like the conversations I've had with them is like either, oh yeah, there's like a bunch of dead weight people who don't even turn on their cameras, and that seems to be at companies that are like startups or something that are like got a bunch of money and then tried to grow quickly. Sorry, just a second. Panda Pop Mafia. Or then there's like these people where everyone's working super hard, and those seem to be at like tech companies, but they seem to be certain teams. So I don't know if that's really representative of reality, but either way, it's kind of like the dead weight now is really being scrutinized everywhere. That's what I've heard from pretty much everyone. They're going back through all your history, figuring out what people did or didn't do.
And I always go back to good old AT&T.
Anyone watching Elon Musk melt down on Twitter and like Tesla stock is just fucking shitting.
Wait, what did he do on Twitter?
He's just like deleting tweets, posting them. He just endorsed Republicans for Congress. Now he's just like tweeted, what do you call someone who is a master at dating?
I honestly have to say this because after this like weekend of like all the different things that I didn't go on to Twitter that much this weekend, but when I did, there was a lot of things that were on there that I felt like they tried to make it look like it was his account with his check mark and all that shit, but it really wasn't.
I saw that with the SpaceX YouTube channel. There was like
and they
20,000
kept giving me like, oh, the donation.
Just on the tech layoffs, my company, I would want to say 80% of our costs go towards paying salaries and around sort of making them happy. Computer costs are very little in the scale. That's why we spend so much on like chairs and stuff, because it doesn't matter. And then the other percentage is like rent for the small place that we need. Because everyone works at home and they buy their own chairs and stuff quietly without us knowing about it. So I can imagine huge companies, their balance sheets changed when COVID happened a little bit. And the costs are mainly salaries as well. So cutting a bunch of people off is really cutting down the costs.
Have stock buybacks been happening for the big companies lately?
Meta's continuing a stock buyback program that it initiated like over a year and a half ago, I think, or 2 years ago. And then they said they're going to continue buying back stock for the next several years. And as far as I know, they're still doing that.
Okay.
Sucks
But
to me all these people are
that's
getting laid off instead of them stopping the buybacks.
well, that's the point is that the buybacks for Meta are priced in. So unless they start buying back at a higher rate than what they've already announced, which is unlikely, it's not going to affect the price. That's what I'm getting at.
Skull, that I have a question. If I remember correctly, you either were or are developing a game, correct?
Yeah, but I don't want to like show
Well, the reason I was
I
asking
don't
about
really
that
talk
is
about it.
is the graphics on Meta. Would that be like when I see it? It's just again, I don't know anything about how to build a game, but it just looks like it's amateurish. The graphics. That's what I was getting at. Is do you think that would be an issue?
What I'll say is right now we're a team of 3 people, and we have some pretty decent, fully immersive 3D graphics. So it spins up a Viking mead hall, and you can sit down at a table and actually play a card game across from another person in VR, and that's what we've made a demo of.
So with all the money that Meta has invested, is actually this part that I'm curious about. Why is the graphics so horrible? Or maybe I just had
Yeah, I mean that's my question. That's like my question.
Look up the demos. Like that's what you saw was not all the prices. There's a demo of the avatars in real time where they basically simulate a person, and it's lifelike. There's no difference. So what you're seeing is basically whatever they're rushing out to try and sales it out.
Is Meta still selling quests at a loss?
Buddy was telling me that you could play Iron Man on there. Is that correct?
I mean,
through the
if you
Oculus?
look, there's also like a great deal of stuff. If you looked up Unreal 5's metahumans, you can actually map your face to the metahumans that are created in Unreal 5, and then like you can use just a regular iPhone for this. And then once it's mapped, like if you move your face, your metahuman avatar.
So it doesn't need your like true depth camera on a newer iPhone?
So that was it was initially thought that it needed the true depth, but I saw a YouTube video literally just last week that someone got it working on some older iPhones. that
Maybe
didn't
they
have true
give you
depth.
like a higher quality or something on a newer one.
It's possible, but I assume that's similar to what Meta's doing with its avatars, which, I mean, that's really useful. And then
Yeah, but
they do have the photorealistic avatars, right?
yeah, they call it codec or something, but it's similar to Unreal's thing where it's kind of taking pictures of real life assets and then exporting it to put into games. They're basically just doing that at another scale of fidelity, useful for sort of people. And I think the demo was like a pineapple, and it even had the little spikes on it, which was like, wow, that's impressive.
I'm so sorry, guys. Elon Musk just tweeted about jerking off into his computer monitor, and Tesla's just dropped down like 3 points.
Yeah, but you know what? This is the hack. I swear to God, they got worms in there, man.
So
literally.
we call this
Carvana's diving now.
we call this headline risk. Just
Yeah,
FYI.
they're
On trading.
this like if anybody doesn't think that all those people that got fired and all that thing that they all didn't press a button that the box opens at a certain time and it's timed.
When he tweeted about like jerking off into his computer
No.
monitor, he
How
had a
many tweets
screenshot
made today?
with his silhouette
Did
taking
he?
the photo.
Did he just some random employee like runs in his
No,
office?
like it's him. There's a photo of him, like taking a picture of his computer monitor, and you can see his reflection on it. And
No,
under it is
that
the
somebody
tweet.
else already hacked. They already hacked him. Like they've already hacked him, right?
What's
Well, let's be honest. I mean, who here hasn't?
There's no way in God's green earth that man would do that. Such a
What's
thing.
wrong with busting a load on the computer?
I would
Like that
not
becoming
saying
a-
there's nothing bad with it, but
Pixar, it
fucking
didn't happen.
There's
Because all the
literally
employees
a
would
photo.
die if they
Okay, guys. how this happened is irrelevant. What is relevant is the negative action on Tesla's stock price, which is now down 4% on the day. So, like, I don't really care exactly how it got posted or who it got posted or who did the posting or the mechanics behind it. There is a very real market effect happening from these tweets. So, yeah.
How
And
many
it's from
tweets
the
has he made
tweets. There's
today?
no other news released from about Tesla.
Not
How
that
many
I'm
tweets has he made today?
I don't know. He's sort of tweet storming right now, according to Zaf, and from what I'm seeing on my own Twitter, he's just going at it.
He says, if you don't like Twitter anymore, there is an awesome site called Masturbate Done. I don't know what the fuck that is.
What's
It's a
Tesla's
play on
volume like?
Mastodon.
The jokes write themselves.
Volume must be high.
Wow. Carvana perfectly pinged off 50 RSI on the day and then started falling.
Yep, I saw that.
It was exactly sort of what I thought would happen, and I should have actually sold my calls when that happened.
So if we
Still
fall
got
back through
calls, but
666, we're probably just gonna hit ground.
I don't know. I don't know where the bottom.
Somebody to mute. Everybody mute.
What?
Trailer or something. I don't know.
It sounded like he got hit by a truck at a loading dock. Is he all right?
Everybody should buy green energy stocks, please.
And we just hit 197 in Tesla. We're breaking resistance. This is amazing. I've never seen a meltdown like this. This is fucking crazy.
Look at it's almost down 5% on the day. I mean, it's going to get there. 4.79.
This is reading like that Coney guy. Like he just had a meltdown.
This
I
is
can't wait for
like,
tomorrow's meltdown.
I do not understand how a man can like self-destruct so fucking hard. This is beautiful in a way. Like, Jesus.
I only have like 2 out of 30 positions that are green today.
And one of those positions is called Tesla puts. Am I right?
I wish.
I guess this is a warning to all the other social medias. Never ban Kathy Griffin if she impersonates your bio.
I don't think it's the banning of Kathy Griffin as much as like the storm of tweets.
Yeah, I
that
don't think it's
some-
the fact that he banned Kathy Griffin because, like, honestly, if he hadn't, I feel like she couldn't have made it any worse than he's already making it on himself.
Yeah, like he's already fucking imploding.
Any new
I was
tweets?
being highly sarcastic there. My apologies. Didn't have the sarcasm font on.
Well, a huge risk is that advertisers just don't want to use Twitter anymore. So he's just pushing them away even further.
Has
He's just
Tesla still
destroying-
broken resistance?
It's breaking resistance right now. I don't have the charts in front of me because I have my work laptop on, but like this, like I think resistance was around 200. So can someone look at that?
Yeah. I mean, that was there was a long-term resistance number at 200 on Tesla. Give me 1 second and I'll tell you what the other.
So generally, what does Tesla spend on advertising, or do they pretty much use word of mouth and Elon?
Yeah, they
So-
don't spend anything on advertising. That's like one of the things they brag about.
Okay, I was wondering if, say, within, say, Tesla, or if the SpaceX ever goes public, if they would be advertising just like what Boeing would, or
I wonder how, like, if they have any intention of even taking SpaceX public at any point in its life.
It looks like Tesla has pinged off the near-term supports. There's the 14-day RSI at 30, which is 195.08. Next is pivot point second support at 190.73. So these are two near-term intraday supports. However, if it breaks 195 and then it breaks the 190, it's a pretty gnarly fall to the next support.
Isn't
point.
that what happened with Amazon, or is that just all earnings?
After breaking the 190 Scald, I don't see support until like 180.
I see it at 178. So yeah, pretty much the same as you. I see it at 178.
I'm gonna run out of settled cash if I try to sell my Tesla.
That kid should have bought those AirPods. I'm not going to lie.
And yet somehow, even though Tesla is 6% part of the SPY is going up.
Really shows you that it's the tweets and the meltdown. It's the broader market is rallying, and this man is single-handedly dragging down the SPY with his dumbass comments. That's fucking insane.
This is magical. I really wish Discount Iron Man, like Great Value Iron Man, would like actually sell cars. That would just make my day.
What happened with Dollar Tree a few weeks ago?
No one
Didn't-
works there, right? At Dollar
Didn't
Tree?
Dollar Tree like go up 75% in a day or something after earnings?
I just know that people just walk into Dollar Tree and they just grab things and walk out, and no one stops them or cares.
I don't know who just mentioned it, but he has a valid point. The guy who called or was talking about buying his girlfriend the AirPods, Scald, in your talk the other day. I feel that your group should just chip in and buy him a set of AirPods now.
In adjacent news, I have a 99-cent sale tomorrow.
To be fair, he said that his dad bought him 1 share of Tesla, and then he jumped on our chat and said, "Should I sell it to buy AirPods?" And
Immediately?
our advice was that you
AirPods for his
should-
girlfriend.
and our advice was that you should go talk to your dad. That was our advice. Goes like,
Did he try to
very-
flip it immediately after he got the share?
I think so. I don't know. It seemed like his
Turns
dad.
out he had better market sense than his dad did, apparently.
Well, I think his dad was trying to get him into the idea of investing, and then this guy was like, "I think it's going down."
Well, you might have screwed up buying him a full share of Tesla and nothing else.
I think that was the dad saying, "Here, I bought you a Tesla share."
Okay, so Tesla's bouncing a little bit.
I was just impressed with your group of cohorts for actually being a bro and giving him solid advice. I initially thought everybody was going to ream in the new
But
one.
it's not financial advice.
Well, fair enough, not financial advice, but it was. I thought for a second maybe Skull thought he was getting punked or something when he's like, "Are you sure you're saying 1 share?"
I just had to clarify. It was like Tesla share, and then I realized it was singular, as in like 1 share of Tesla, and I was like, "Oh." And then it wasn't financial advice; it was family advice.
I mean,
So it
I
was
got
like,
really
Yeah,
bullish
you're
on
you're being a
GoPro,
bro
and
is what I
it
was
turned
getting at.
Yeah,
I
for a few
appreciate you being
days.
a bro.
So, are you guys of the opinion that the SPY is severely disconnected from what actually makes up the SPY? Like the price of the SPY is disconnected from what
Absolutely.
the value is
Yeah.
worth.
Because it's just Tesla dragging it down.
Tesla is 6% of it. I have a watch list that has all of them on there, and the top 6 I kind of keep an eye on, and it shouldn't be up.
So it's very overvalued, in other words, the SPY.
Would it be up if Tesla was knocked out?
it is up, right? So is
Oh,
it possible that
I'm not
all
looking at
these-
SPY. Sorry.
Is it possible that all the other assets that are, these smaller components of SPY are all having all right days, and therefore explains the movement?
Yeah, I'm desperately trying to find the name of the indicator that I used to say it. but
Carvana is
tech
holding off at 720.
Tech is the lowest at the moment, next to communications, while energy, financials, consumer stuff is doing very well. So I don't agree with that statement.
I have a theory that SPY moves just enough to screw everybody's puts and calls. Right now, for today's expiration, put open interest is 415,000. Call open interest is 303,000. So I'm thinking it's going to move just enough to the call side to screw those 415,000 puts.
Well, I mean, that's exactly what happened with Spy. So on Friday, Spy like literally finished at max pain. It staged a huge rally just to finish at max pain. So that's not like
For this
the-
Friday, there's over
that-
100,000 open interest at 360 something and 370, I believe. So that's the highest numbers I've ever seen. Yes, they will find a way to have Spy finish around 380 this week.
Does anyone actually buy value or growth oriented index funds?
Yes.
No.
In my boomer portfolio, not in my degenerate options like account.
If I can leverage myself to the tips on it, so its tiny little percentage looks sexy, yeah, why not? I am British though, so I can do CFDs and stuff that options people don't like as much.
I just got access to CFDs. I'm an American, so I've traded for years, but I've never traded CFDs because I didn't have access to them until a few weeks ago. So I'm just trying to learn.
Why
If you
are
trade
Americans
your
not allowed
futures, it's basically the same.
What was that playing?
You're Britain and you buy American futures.
Yeah, but why is America not allowed to do CFDs? What's the
They were
reason?
considered too risky for the normal traders because effectively they would just go leverage.
Who
to the
considered
tips
it
and
that?
then, more the government than any kind of financial body, I think. But then they started trading options, which are clearly more safer, right?
Or they could just do binary options and everything goes out the window.
Yeah, it was more for posturing than any kind of logic.
I can't believe international brokers implemented binary options. Like, that's just wild to me. I just got that news like last week. We had a whole talk about it. But yeah, I just got access to CFDs, so I'm excited to start using them in my trading. I found a Swiss broker who was willing to do business with me. So now I can do CFDs even though I'm American.
You have to be more careful with things like spread and slippage. But generally, if you can get it right on the sort of bigger stocks, it kind of makes sense. My only reason I use it is because I just end up getting better fills for my personal trading style, for little scalps and stuff.
Because of that open interest I was just looking at, I'm thinking of opening an Iron Condor on SPY, 377 to 379. It's going to cost me $8 to open it with a max profit of 92, 11% profitability probability. What do y'all think?
Why wouldn't you do 378 to 376? You're going to have a bullish bias?
Yeah, I think it's going to stay green, maybe another dollar or so, like just because of the put to call ratio.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to have a rip like 3% today, you know? I could do that. Let's see.
If you're if you're subscribing to the Max Pain theory, Max Pain today is 377 on SPY.
So then you're saying 376 to 378?
Well, I'm just saying if you're subscribing to this whole Max Pain theory, I have Max Pain of SPY at 377 right now.
Can you just have max pain of literally no stocks? Just life.
Yeah, no. You buy ham. You buy ham for Christmas.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. 376, 379 cost me $10 per contract, 90 profit if they both expire worthless.
We got folks asking to come up here, and I tried to invite some of them up, and none of it worked. So we might be at our max number of speakers.
What are the odds I would get invited? I'd get accepted to speak if I requested it again.
Who is this talking right now?
Gooseplay.
Oh yeah, got some good insights, buddy. I'll invite you back up here for sure.
You'll just have to remember, yeah. Either that or you have to do something to get yourself some more karma, because that's the problem is we have a lot of people who just try to troll this talk, so that's why we generally go for people with like 1,000 karma.
And that's why I love them.
Well, I'll drop out because I need to go anyway. But I just want to say thank you very much, and the extended chat as well. It's been great.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate the insights.
Hello, check. You yet one? No. Where the hell?
Where did Simple Face go?
Hello, 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 hello,
Hello,
He
hello,
left a long
hello,
time ago.
hello,
Hello.
hello.
But yeah, Simple, I think he left a while ago.
He had to get back to his day job over there in Croatia.
I'm looking over. I sold my TS, was the Tesla short TS LQ or something like that on November the 3rd. So I should be kicked off here from talking just for that, since it spiked up now.
Someone said Twink is on a leg up. Let's take a look. It is. There goes Twink. Power bottom of the bear market. Just added again. Twink is Hostess brands. They own Twinkies and I don't know, all the other Hostess brands.
Oh, I love their chips.
One of their recent developments is a few months ago, they announced that they had come up with a proprietary new dough that was going to double the shelf life of their already nearly eternal products. I mean, Twinkies already had an insane shelf life, and apparently it's going to double the shelf life of it, which is insane.
I heard that Twinkies can last for like 1,000 years. Is that true?
So can a burger or a burger from McDonald's.
Yeah, there's like a few YouTube videos on that or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a thing where you could like bury it in like a pharaoh's tomb, and like 100 years from now, we'll just be like, oh, look, Twinkies. This must have been culturally significant to this person. Anyway, stock's going.
Yeah, I like how that's worded.
By then, wouldn't the plastic and paper would have rotten though?
Plastic only degrades
Just
if there's light.
Literally just the Twinkie.
Didn't someone do that recently with some flaming hot Cheetos? They put it in a tomb. I don't know if
Yeah,
anyone
the
saw
crypt.
that.
Yeah, I saw that one.
You can actually light inside the tomb with the Cheetos and go down like it's like, you know, kind of like one of those flames, like a flame fucking wand. You can just hold the Cheetos like that. It works.
Hello?
Tesla's fighting its way back to 200. Hello.
Hi. I've got a quick question. Someone mentioned GDS Holdings a few days ago, and I'm not sure if anyone remembers that, but it's I think it's a Chinese like data company. It was up 10%, nearly 10% today, and I don't know. Someone else was kind of saying they've, you know, it's a long-term hold. I kind of did some research, but I couldn't really find out much about what data services they actually provide. So, I mean, does anyone kind of have any insight on that, or?
I just remember what was repeated on the call. Basically, the person was saying that GDS does like data center construction and provisioning. So like creating of actual data centers and running them where you would, you know, mount your electronics in the rack. And
so is this like just server, like, you know, like buildings, or, I mean, or is it another kind of data service they actually provide?
at least the person who was on the call talking about it was just saying that they ran and operated physical data and co-location centers.
Okay.
So they are up a pretty pronounced amount, 15.47% today.
Hey guys, I hate to do this, but I got to drop, so I'm gonna end the recording in just 30 seconds or so. But if you want to hear more, go back to the subreddit r/Wall Street Bets and listen there. It'll continue. And when I do post this as a full video, as opposed to just a recorded live stream, I'll make sure to snip in the audio that we missed after this point, which is almost 3 hours in. It's crazy that people have that much to say. But anyways, definitely go back to the subreddit, check it out if you want. And sorry for cutting it short, although short is kind of a weird